Welcome to episode 26 Tech of Tea. I'm, as always, your host, Brody Robertson, and today we are doing something a little bit different from normal. I've actually got, if you're watching the audio version, I've actually got two guests on the show right now. Welcome back to the show, Kenley. He was on, do you remember what episode number you're on?
I believe it was episode 3.
3, okay.
3 or 4.
And we also have Corey back on the show as well.
Hello, hello.
And his audio's, as throughout this episode is going to be a bit too loud because audio is just a mess when you have multiple people in Discord, but there's only so much we can do with it. Anyway, what we are doing today is both these guys have been bothering me about watching Mr. Robot for quite a while now. I don't
Too long.
Yeah, way too long. And I decided that after I watched the season, we were going to basically go back and talk about the first season of Mr. Robot. And because of that, there is going to be lots and lots of spoilers for this series. So if you haven't seen Mr. Robot, I give you 5 seconds to leave, or I'm going to spoil the entire season for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Elliot is Mr. Robot. Darlene is Elliot's sister. Shayla is dead. And
Vera sucks.
Tyrell likes it in the butt. Tyrell definitely likes it in the butt. Actually, no, he likes giving it in the butt. I don't know if he'll take it. We didn't see that in that scene, did we?
No,
I
remember
think you just paid too much attention to who was.
It was a very long scene. You had to kind of pay attention to it.
I think it was like 5 years ago. I don't remember. I remember it was a thing, but
yeah, it was definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
So I've actually got like a series of notes here to go through, but
Ooh,
wait.
I like this.
If you've got any way that you want to start with, then I'm happy to start with that.
Okay. Out of all the shows you watched, Brody, where would you put this? Where would you put Mr. Robot?
After just seeing the first season?
Yeah.
Well, there was a brief point in around the middle of the series where it was kind of getting a little bit slow, which is what I sort of expected from what you were saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was sort of around just before all the stuff with like Evil Corp started happening, with finding out that what was it, the old CEO, the dude who ended up getting Angela the job. Finding out
Colby?
Yeah, Colby, him.
Yeah.
Finding out that he actually knew all about what was going on with the waste spill in the past, up until like the brief period where that was happening, it got a little bit boring.
Yeah.
Except for the one scene where Elliot decided to become a normal person for a day, but we'll talk about that in just a bit. I would put this up pretty high because most of the stuff I watch ends up being a lot of anime content, and that's always ends up being the same sort of thing you're always watching. This is a very different sort of show compared to what I normally watch, and honestly, it's probably one of the best things I've ever seen.
Ooh,
Nice.
that's satisfying.
So glad to hear that. Trust me, it gets way better.
You have no idea.
Season 3
So
and
you've been
4
saying.
are so good. Like I don't have the words to say how good season 3 and 4 are.
Mm-hmm.
Season 2 is it's good, but it's a bit slow paced.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
But you have to get through it. Season 3 and 4.
Well, I got
so good.
Back when I was watching
Mind-blowing.
The Walking Dead, I got through the farm, so I think I can get through this.
Oh my god, not that.
I haven't seen Walking Dead.
Okay, there was an entire season where they had basically no budget, so they recorded in like one farm the entire season. I think they went to a town once, and that's about all that happened.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, Walking Dead's a whole nother can of worms.
That's another podcast.
I have no interest in going back and watching that though. So
No. Half of it got spoiled for me anyway.
yeah,
It's got about a dozen seasons, doesn't it?
fucking too. I think it's still going.
Whoa.
I think it's like season 9 or 10, I think.
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ. So,
And it's so repetitive. Anyway.
so in case you guys forgot where season 1 ended, basically you had the scene where Elliot choked himself in the internet cafe.
Yeah.
Then he ended up going to a protest that may not have actually happened. We don't know because he was fucking tripping the entire time. Tyrell is gone. We don't know where he's disappeared off to. And Elliot ended off the season in his apartment opening the door to somebody. We don't know who the somebody is. Also, there was the scene with White Rose in like the real fancy party talking to somebody who I don't remember the name of.
Okay.
So that's basically where the season ended. Just so you don't say anything too much after that.
Yeah, that's what I'm scared of.
Yeah, same.
So I think the biggest thing for this season would have been talking about Mr. Robot himself. So
Yeah.
early on, I was thinking Mr. Robot was a bit of a cunt. But as the season went on, obviously you find out that Elliot is Mr. Robot. And
Did you see that twist coming at all?
there were hints of it early on, but I didn't see it coming.
Yeah.
I did.
First time I saw it, I was just blown away.
Yeah, like when you see it again, you just think, how did I not see this coming?
I thought we were done with the twist after we found out that Mr. Robot was his dad. I thought that's where the twists were going to end.
Yeah.
I think the twist for me that just got me hooked on Mr. Robot was when Elliot went to kiss Darlene and she was like, "Yeah, I'm your sister." That was
the fourth wall break. My God.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. That scene explained some earlier scenes that were happening. So, you had the scene where Darlene and Angela were in a ballet class together, and that scene came out of fucking nowhere. It was just like, why do they even know each other? How? Because it went from just a normal episode the previous episode before, and then it's like Darlene and Angela in ballet class together. It's like, what the hell happened off camera? Like, how do these people know each other so well now?
Such a trippy show, and I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, I think that's where everything just started just falling apart with the kiss scene between Darlene and Elliot, because that's when like all of the other stuff started falling into place. It's just like, oh, this is who Mr. Robot is. This is what's going on with this, and
it all came crashing down in a sense.
Pretty much, yeah. So, one scene that really did piss me off early on and then made perfect sense way later in the show was the boardwalk scene.
Where he gets pushed off?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was just... when that happened, I was like, what the fuck? Why did he just try to kill Elliot? And... oh... There's so many scenes from what I can see at this point that were even just tied into what was happening later in the season, just in this one season. Yeah, I can only imagine what's going to happen as the series progresses. I'm sure there's some things that have happened now that are probably going to be linked into things that happened later.
No comment.
Yeah, no comment. And okay, so obviously you had the big one with Elliot falling off the boardwalk, or I guess pushing himself off of the boardwalk would be a better way to describe
falling. Yeah.
Because in the video that they showed at the end, it was like him putting his hand on his back and then pushing himself off.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's still kind of confusing because Mr. Robot was never there in real life, right? But there's so many scenes, at least from memory, that there's no way he couldn't have been. Like Elliot talking to no one except himself.
Mhm.
Like, at least another personality, I guess, of himself.
Yeah, that's how I could
It
understand.
kind of doesn't link up all the time.
Absolutely, yeah.
But yeah.
One example I have is when they are in F Society, occasionally Mr. Robot will talk to people.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not what's actually happening there. Is that Elliot having like some personality switch? Is that because sometimes they will respond to Mr. Robot? That's the weirdest part of it. So what's actually there was a really weird scene when after the plan with Dark Army was going to fall through, and Darlene was like, I'm going to do this shit myself. And she was like threatening to just destroy the entire operation. Mr. Robot was trying to stop her from doing it. And she was actually responding to Mr. Robot, which didn't make any sense. And he was like, Elliot, you try to stop her. And it's just like, this scene doesn't make any sense right now once you actually look back at and know what's going on.
Yeah, it's definitely weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can make up, I guess, ways around it to make it make sense from your point of view.
Yeah.
Which, from seeing the rest of the show, I think that's what the writer and creator had in mind.
Right, okay.
I'm sure Kenley can agree with that to an extent.
Yeah, definitely. I want to say something, but I'm just not 100% sure. It's not going to be like I don't think it's a spoiler, but like, I should probably just keep it. I just can't risk it. I need you to be blown away.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
In the next couple of seasons, like, no, I don't want to give any details.
Yeah.
Well, if we stay on the topic of Elliot's weird split personality, there was the scene with what's his name, the black dude in F Society, Romero. Is that it?
Oh yeah, I know you're talking about.
When he was in his place trying to like grow some weed, and Mr. Robot shows up and like, that you're in this operation. You said you were going to be in this operation, and then like pulls out a gun and holds it to his head. That was Elliot doing that the entire time. And Elliot is fucking insane.
Half the season he's just hooked on morphine.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me of one other scene. When I guess so, Elliot's in the hotel with Romero and the fat dude, whatever his name is.
Yeah, with glasses, long black hair. Yeah.
And they go off to do whatever they were doing. I think they were just like, fuck you, we're just gonna go do this operation ourselves. And then Elliot goes to the heroin house, except none of that actually happened.
Oh. Because that's just a huge trip.
I had no idea what the hell was going on during that scene. Because also, so that scene almost didn't make any sense to me whatsoever, except the fact that it didn't happen. So because Mr. Robot carried him there, if that scene had actually happened, that scene would make literally no sense whatsoever.
You can't carry yourself. Yeah.
Also, Mr. Robot was the one who paid to get him into the house, so that scene would just not have made any sense at all.
Yeah.
Because the dude at the house said only he can go inside. So knowing the fact that Elliot is Mr. Robot, that scene obviously couldn't have happened because he wouldn't obviously know that Mr. Robot was there as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Bro.
Yes. What's up?
Just like trying to remember all these like early sort of connections.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first time I saw that plot twist, I was just like, "What the that I just watch. Like,
Yeah.
and still looking back on it now, I think it's still not hooked up perfectly, like I was saying before.
Right.
But it's still kind of insane how they managed to pull it off the way they did.
And then it's like a very rare thing for this many just insane like plot twists, and just it's not common that there are, because a lot of TV shows are just spoon fed to you, and it's very rare that you get a show that it genuinely makes you question everything and just I don't want to. It gets so much better, Brody. It gets so much better. I cannot emphasize that enough.
I've had a couple friends that quit season 2 just because there's one particular scene. You might know it when you see it, but it's I guess it's not very pleasant to watch. But if you push through that and push through, I get it's a bit more slow, like Kenley was saying.
Right.
But if you get through it, season 3, bang, it skyrockets.
Okay.
Season
Yeah.
4,
good.
oh my god, like
Oh.
I cannot wait to have those last 2 seasons as podcasts.
Oh yeah, that'll be
Because that will
fun.
go for hours.
Yeah, you're gonna seriously binge the last 2 seasons, because it's gonna be. Oh, you won't be able to contain yourself. You need to get a trial for binge, or like the Foxtel thing, and just I think it's 2-week trial, easy, 2 seasons.
Well, if I wasn't busy with uni stuff right now, I probably would have finished season 2 and season 3 already.
Yeah.
But
Summer holidays.
Yeah, for sure. Or study
Yeah.
break.
Yes.
All that. Teaching break.
Yeah, whatever it is.
That's what they always.
Yeah, it's just a teaching break. You still have to do work, except when they don't give us our assignments.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of what happened with Elliot can sort of be explained by the internet cafe scene. I think that everyone in F Society sort of understands that Elliot is an absolute fucking mental case.
Yeah.
A bit of an
Definitely.
outsider.
Yeah, even though some of the scenes may not make perfect sense, I think that if you look at it through the lens of the internet cafe scene and when he was strangling himself,
Yes.
I think you can sort of get what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was honestly once the reveal that Elliot was Mr. Robot actually like happened, I was expecting Mr. Robot just to be completely killed off the show, but I imagine he's probably going to come back in some sort of ghostly Elliot form.
Ooh.
And
No
just
comment.
stick around, because Elliot still has no idea what's actually happening with all the hacking that's been going on with F Societies,
Yeah.
and he assumes that someone else is doing it.
Because it was Mr. Robot that gave him the plan, right? That was in the Ferris wheel, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
So Elliot's still kind of blindsided on the entire thing that Mr. Robot's trying to tell him.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's
not so much a spoiler, but Mr. Robot plays a pivotal role.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense. Because the hack on Steel Mountain ended up going through, and everyone's money was just frozen, basically. And Elliot's like, "What the fuck happened? Why am I in Tyrell's car? What's going on?"
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, the Steel Mountain. Well, I love that episode.
Social engineering.
Yeah.
That poor man.
I feel like with Tyrell, I feel like there's so much more going on. But yeah, we'll go to that first. Elliot is fucking like the way he manipulates people.
Yeah.
The way he just digs into people's just weaknesses. Like that scene hit me really hard.
You cannot not feel bad for that security guy.
Mm-hmm. He's done that a couple of times throughout the series. Like he did that with Krista, his psychologist.
Yeah.
When he told what he's been doing, how he's been lying about taking morphine, how he hacks people to find out what's going on in their lives. Like every time Elliot goes into that mode, I think we get sort of like an insight into, I guess, the other side of his personality. I feel like that's part of the Mr. Robot side coming out. Because being like someone who's able to break into systems like Elliot can do, it's more than just, oh, you have the programming talent. It's also very heavily on the social engineering side.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Especially with the way that modern systems are built. So I feel like that is part of that other side of him coming out.
Yeah, and social engineering is like I don't know if you heard about, the Twitter hack that happened a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
The blue checkmark hack.
Yep, that's the one. Yeah, apparently that one was a social engineering one, and they got
Yeah, that Twitter was nice that day. No celebrities talking.
It was a lot of people, and they gained a lot of money in like an hour, like hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, there are still people asking people like Elon Musk for their Bitcoin back, and it's like he actually took my Bitcoin. It's like, no, it wasn't Elon, you dummies. What are you saying?
It's insane how gullible people are.
Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, send me your money and I will double it. Like,
double it. Oh.
If he did that, he wouldn't be a millionaire, would he? The fact that so many people fell for that kind of just shows you how powerful social engineering can be.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because obviously you could always do like some sort of, I don't know, you could try to find a vulnerability in some Bitcoin wallet, or you could find a vulnerability in just the Bitcoin blockchain itself. But if you can just convince people that they're sending it to a legitimate cause, then they'll just happily send you money.
It saves so much more time and effort
than
going into more technical.
Well, when it's something even text-based, it's not like you need to pretend to have a certain voice. You can just have access to the account, and if you have access to the account, people they're just going to assume that it's a legitimate thing you're asking for.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Let's see. So I was talking about Tyrell just before. I don't know what the hell is going on. Like his entire sub story made I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like every time, so it went from here's Elliot and his morphine trips and F Society. Now here's Tyrell trying to become the CTO. It's like, why is this here? What is going on?
I think he's a bit of a mystery in season 1, and you'll see.
My prediction at this point is the stuff with him like murdering what's her face, trying to become CTO, all of this is sort of to build up his character for things that are going to happen later on. Like if he didn't ruin his chances of being CTO, there would be no reason for him to be an important character later on. He'd just say, "Oh, I'm CTO of Evil Corp now."
Yeah, that's a fair call. Yeah.
Is season 1? Did season 1 have a scene with a fork? Or is that later on?
Fork.
Yeah, like the one, like a spoon fork.
Spoon fork.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe it's later on.
Maybe.
Never mind.
Corey, do you know what he's talking about?
I think so. Let me quickly Google.
But
I believe it was a fork.
I don't know what. Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. If it did happen in season 1, let me know. Yes? No?
Wait, let me just double check.
I know. Hang on. I found the details of it, but
Not what episode that it's in.
yes. Where?
So, while you're looking for that, so there was one scene with Tyrell that happened that literally exists just to show that he knows how to use a terminal, and that is, I see you're using GNOME. I use KDE myself. What?
Okay,
Executive
apparently
using
it
Linux?
is in season 1.
It is okay.
Yeah, it's episode 1.7.
Okay. What exactly is the deal?
This is quote unquote from the Wikipedia page. When police question Wellick about Sharon's
Oh,
murder,
that scene. Oh,
Joanna secretly breaks her own water with a fork.
fucking yeah, that scene. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay,
Holy.
so anyone
A
who's
little
not
hardcore.
anyone who's forgetting the scene exactly, after Tyrell murdered what's her face,
Yeah, the current CTO's wife.
yeah, the what?
I
Yeah,
believe.
so, the police came to talk to Tyrell at his office, and he was like, "Fuck off! You need an appointment. I'm not talking to you." And then they just show up at his house, and his wife had no idea what was happening, because Tyrell hadn't actually said that he had done anything yet, or the fact that the CTO's wife was dead or anything. So she was real surprised. And after Tyrell started fucking up a bit and sort of saying more than he should have to get the police out of the house, basically she broke her own water with a fork.
Yeah.
With that that fucking scene.
It's a bit much.
His wife is
Insane.
absolutely insane. I thought that early on, I thought that, like, oh, Tyrell's probably going to be like the big man in the relationship, but no, everything that Tyrell does is basically to please her.
Literally.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, I presume she's going to show up at some point later in the series, but she supposedly doesn't know where Tyrell actually is at this point, so because he's just fucked off somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's gonna be that's gonna be an important point in a future episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Future
Okay.
Mr. Robot episode that we
Yeah,
talk
she's
about, 'cause it's-
very mysterious.
Yeah.
Let's leave it at that. Yeah.
Well, I was already real confused with the that one BDSM scene that happened. It's like,
Oh,
it's like what the fuck is? What am I watching right now? It's like, oh yes, this lady who's like 8 months pregnant wants to be tied up and like what? Okay, sure.
yeah.
If you say so.
Like we said, she's insane.
She's definitely insane.
Proper insane.
I think the only person in this series who isn't insane was probably Shayla. Because I think even Angela's got a few screws loose.
Quite a few.
Oh, I guess Ollie wasn't insane, but he's also just a bit of a dick. That was Angela's ex.
Oh yeah.
Ollie. Yeah. Is that the one who tried to be bros with Elliot?
Yes.
In the office?
Yes.
That was like such
very,
a fucking
very
awkward
big
scene.
on bros. Hey, bro. You want to be bros? It's like, no, fuck off. I guess I'll try. Yeah, no, there's no way that they were ever going to be friends.
No way.
Yeah.
There is a very small pool of people that Elliot can have a conversation with, and Ollie is very far away from that group.
IRL.
So, let's see. What else do we have on here? I've basically broken down this into, like, different sections of characters, because that's, I think, the best way to look at this series, because everyone's got their own sort of character arc going.
I mean, one who doesn't, he touched on it just now, is Shayla, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, for most of the series she did, because...
Oh, yeah, but, yeah.
I expected her to be dead after that first Vera scene.
Did Vera... He's so fucked. Like, I can't tell you.
With
Kenley
how
knows.
important he was in season 1, I can't say he's not gonna come back. He absolutely has to come back with how important he's been in the first season. There wouldn't have been that much time spent on him.
No comment.
Yeah, no comment.
That basically answers what I was saying anyway.
See, that's what I'm afraid of.
I'm not gonna say anything that's gonna... Well, I don't know what I could say to get myself big spoilers anyway.
Yeah. I mean, him coming back isn't a spoiler as to the extent of which he comes back.
Sure.
Is what's going to shock you. And I'm sure everyone that watches it.
I think the only thing that I could really get myself spoilers for that I could work out myself is asking about characters that die.
Yeah.
Because with how easy they were to kill off Shayla, I'm sure that someone else is going to die by the end of the series.
Maybe. Maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not. Everyone's just going to live. Except for everyone in Vera's gang who pisses him off.
Yeah.
Even his brother. It's like, nah.
Yeah, that Shayla death scene, that was so sad.
Oh,
Like, that is actually heartbreaking.
It's like... that's one of the... Like, there's been a couple of points throughout this series where I had to just stop watching for the night, and that was one of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, that series was building up Shayla to be my favorite character, and then it's like, oh yeah, she's dead now. It's like, oh yeah, that's cool.
I just still remember, like, that slow camera pan from, like... I think it was, like, from almost outside the car park. And it's, like, getting closer and closer to the boot, and then he opens it.
Mm-hmm.
It just see like a pool of blood. I was like, oh, and then you see her face, and it's like, oh.
Because for a second I was like, maybe she's not dead. Because we did have that scene early on with her in the bath, when I was like, is Shayla dead already? Like, what the fuck? Because Vera didn't. He definitely didn't make it sound like she was still alive.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she's in the bath, just leave her be. It's like, it was definitely sounding like he had killed her, but then she died anyway.
Yeah. Vera's such a... Oh, sorry, Ken.
Oh, sorry, no, go on, Corey.
He's such an awful character, but he's extremely well written for who he is. Yeah.
And the way, and because you hate him as a character and you feel that he's awful, it's just saying how good of an actor he is. Because it's not easy to play an actor that everyone hates.
A psychopathic drug dealer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the writing, oh, so good.
Oh, man.
And it only gets better.
One scene that did slightly confuse me was how Vera managed to find out that Elliot was the one who got him in jail. Because they showed a picture, but I'm not really sure what was going on with that picture.
Oh.
I think it might have been Shayla's apartment. Maybe that's what it was, but I'm not 100% sure. That scene went by, I was like, okay, how did you work it out? It didn't seem entirely clear to me.
Yeah. I can't remember the exact details.
Yeah, it'd be pretty difficult to remember the exact photo.
Yeah.
But I think the only thing that makes sense to me is the fact that it was Shayla's apartment.
Yes.
And then he sort of just pieced it together because he knew that Elliot was in IT and Elliot knew, like, he was really close with Shayla, so sort of just piece it together, I guess.
That makes sense.
Because he might be a psychopathic drug dealer, but he's not an idiot, for sure.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, Vera is the sort of person who, if he wasn't like involved in the crime scene, he would be like doing really well for himself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This is what happens when a dealer does their own supply.
Yeah.
So Brody, what make your predictions for the show? Like, what how do you the whole F Society hack thing? What do you think happened, and where do you think that's gonna lead? And
I have
Did it
fucking clue.
wait, did it happen? Do you think it happened?
That's actually. That's already a hard enough question because he started tripping straight afterwards.
Well,
I think it's possible. Because there was a scene where Elliot wasn't in it. You had a scene with White Rose and the other dude at the party, and they were talking about things that had happened. So I assume that something happened, whether it was to the extent that Elliot thinks it happened. Whether there were riots on the streets, I don't know, because there was big protests and everyone was wearing F Society masks, and then they all disappeared. So
yeah,
I don't know if that happened, and then he just blacked out for 7 hours, and then they all left, or what happened there. Because it's very possible that that protest did happen, because everyone already, like, people know about F Society, and if everyone's debts got wiped away, I assume there would be people like go on the streets, like talking about how much they love F Society.
Yeah,
and
it wouldn't be silent. Yeah,
and then it's very possible that Elliot was there for the protest, and then, just passed out on the street, and then everyone left. That's possible. Because we already know that he does hallucinate, and it's possible that he just didn't notice the other people that were just there on a normal day. So that's definitely possible, but I think that something happened. But what happened, I don't fucking know. And I guess I'll find out in season 2, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Surely it can't go 10 episodes with nothing happening.
Well, you never know. Expect the unexpected.
Yeah, that's fair. So, completely shifting gears for a minute then. The day that Elliot decided to be a normal person. I'm sure you remember that scene.
I think so.
I don't know.
You don't. It was such a fucking funny scene. So basically, you know how Elliot's like depressed all the time and all that.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, I'm gonna stop using the drugs. I'm gonna be happy. He shows up. Oh, sorry. I think he goes and gets like a bubble tea or something, and like he shows up to work. Comes into Gideon's office like, hey Gideon, how's it going, buddy? And it's just like Gideon's like, who the fuck are you? It's like, hey, you want to go out for drinks? Like, I guess so.
That would be so weird if that happened to you. Like some guy who just
if
always...
if Aiden did it. shows up to uni like real nice clothes, real happy about everything. It's like, who the fuck are you? What is going on? Oh Lord, I don't think that scene was very important to what was going on, but it was fun and I enjoyed it. I like how there was a couple of those fun scenes throughout the series, where it's just like, this doesn't really matter, I think, but it's still fun to see happen.
Yeah, because for the most part, it's a very serious show, I would say. Yeah. Very almost just depressing.
Yeah.
Just seeing someone go through an enormous mental battle. So I think it's important to keep things a bit surface level and then lighthearted.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we needed those scenes where Elliot was just dicking around, where
Yeah, like comedic relief almost.
yeah, or you had couple of scenes that happened where Elliot and Shayla were hanging out, which is like,
It's nice, yeah.
There was the one scene where Elliot found out what Shayla's hobby was, where she was like doing, like just before they started dating, where she was like doing crochet.
Remember?
Okay, well, yeah, Shayla's thing was like she liked making blankets,
Okay.
and she's like,
Yeah.
oh, that's cool. She's a drug dealer and also has this completely normal hobby as well. You could see that Shayla, she didn't want to get herself into this world. It's sort of like she fell into it.
Yeah.
Like she came to this city and needed a job, and the first thing that she stumbled into was drug dealing. It's not like she wanted to do that with her life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But I think one scene that did hit me pretty hard as well was the reason why Shayla started working with Vera. It was entirely to do with Elliot, because she was like, oh, there's only one dude out here that sells Suboxones, and it's this crazy dude. And Elliot was the entire reason that they started talking to each other.
Oh, I think I remember that.
I think it's coming back to me.
Yeah, it was one of the back scenes. I think it might have been just after Shayla died or something. And yeah, the entire reason that Vera and Shayla started working together was because of Elliot. And I feel like that would be something that would absolutely destroy me if that had happened. It's like,
Absolutely.
I am the reason this person is dead.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then adding that pressure onto you based on everything else that is going on in your life is just insane to think about.
Well, yeah, he's going. I don't even, was he on morphine at the time? I don't remember. He kept going on and off morphine throughout the series. Like, he would go a couple of days, try to go cold turkey, and then jump back on it.
Yeah. He's on it more than he's not on it. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
He's a fucking morphine addict. That's what he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I presume that. Sorry.
No, that's all right. You can go.
I was gonna say. You go. Just say what you're trying to say.
This is why we need that physical studio eventually. Yeah. I totally forgot what I was gonna say now.
No.
Yeah, I totally forgot.
You got nothing? Okay. Yeah. I was gonna say, I presume that as the series goes on, now that Shayla's not around, he's not going to be taking Suboxones, and he's just going to be doing morphine and just trying to survive, basically. And it's going to get worse as the series goes on.
Well, I won't say.
You won't say. Okay, sure. So, there's one person I do feel bad for, like, most of the series, and that's Gideon.
Okay.
At least at this point. Maybe something happens later, but at this point, Gideon just seems like he's just a general middle management dude who's just trying to do his job. And like, all this shit just keeps happening around him. Then he sort of finds out that Elliot's trying to do stuff in the company that is going to take everything down. He sort of works out that Elliot has something to do with F Society, and just doesn't like it. He's just trying. He's a dude who's trying to do his job, and all this stuff just keeps happening around him. He's just like, I can't handle this. I'm just a manager.
Yeah.
I had to double check who that actually was.
Yeah, Elliot's manager at Allsafe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because like, you had the scene where he was with his partner, and he was just sort of like breaking down about all the stuff that's been happening at work. Oh, it's just like All Safe is collapsing because Evil Corp's pulling out the contract and all this other stuff's happening. I just can't handle this, and just like you kind of feel bad for Gideon because he didn't like. He's just a manager. He's just a dude who got caught up in all this.
Yeah, legit. Yeah.
There's one scene that I feel like there's a lot of meaning to it that I didn't understand when I watched it, but I feel like if I go back and watch it when the series ends, it might make more sense. Back to the hotel scene when Elliot was like, I'm going cold turkey, and goes to the fake heroin house and starts like hallucinating. So there was lots of stuff like that. There was lots of stuff happening during that scene where he was just like hallucinating what was happening, where I feel like it has some meaning towards like to do something that was going on with this story, and I don't understand most of it at this point. I'm sure you know the scene I'm talking about. You don't remember?
I don't think I remember. This, like I said, I saw it in year 10, I think, which was 5-6 years ago.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like when it came out, I remember I would watch it every week as it came out.
Yeah.
Until season 2, when I saw the first couple of episodes, and it's kind of like, this show is just not good anymore. And then I waited until season 3, like towards the end of season 3, when actually after season 3 ended and season 4 was announced.
Yeah.
This was last year. And then people were trying to tell me how to just keep watching. And then I hopped on a Foxtel trial and I just binged all of season 2, and it was not as bad as I thought. And then binged season 3, and that was just so good.
Yeah.
And then this was when season 4 was coming out every week, so we just watched them every week. Me and Corey watched one of them live at uni. Oh, good times.
Okay, so the scene I was specifically talking about was it was that scene we mentioned earlier where Elliot was in the hotel like having the morphine withdrawals, and he was then he went to that fake heroin house with Mr. Robot. After that scene, he started like hallucinating about what was happening, and you sort of started seeing hints of what was happening in his past, and he went back to his old hometown and things like that in his like hallucinated state. And there was a lot of symbolism that was going on during that, and I have no idea what the fuck most of it meant, but I think when I go back and watch it, it might make a bit more sense.
Yeah. I think as a whole, it's definitely a show that requires several watches.
Yeah, there's a lot of little bits in there that will only make sense later on.
Yeah. There's definitely connections between that and future seasons. That's for sure. But even just a seasonal rewatch, you'll pick up on things that you never noticed before.
Yeah.
Which you can't really say a lot about other shows, to be honest, because they're majority are like just a linear sort of way.
Oh yeah, maybe you'll get like a little
character.
You might get like a little bit of hinting towards what's going on, but nothing like what I've seen in Mr. Robot.
Yeah. Like when Kenley asks you, what do you think is going on? You're just like, I don't know. Like,
Stuff.
It just leaves enough to be like you still have no idea what's going on, but you're still very much intrigued.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing that I'm sure you can't have forgotten about is this happened like right at the start of the series. So it was a very important scene, sort of leads into everything. The file that was on the All Safe systems. Yeah.
Was that? I think that was in the pilot episode.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Was that?
You go.
Who was it that put that file there? Was that?
Let me check what this file scene is.
I'm faintly recalling that Mr. Robot said that he put the file there, which would mean that Elliot put the file there.
That's how
he ended up.
Elliot got dragged into F Society.
Yeah. So Elliot hacked all safe systems to convince Elliot to join F Society.
Yes.
Which makes no fucking sense. There's so, like, all of these weird Mr. Robot scenes, I feel like they will make sense at the end of the series. I hope.
Yes.
But
Everything
right
will
now,
make
I'm just like,
sense.
what the fuck are you doing?
Oh, it's so hard not to
Yeah,
just.
I'm trying so hard.
Okay, well, we can go on to something else then. So when Darlene first showed up, I thought that she was basically just a bit of a bitch.
Oh, absolutely.
But to be
That
fair,
was the vibe they were going for.
To be fair, understandably, because at that point she would have been really pissed off that Elliot keeps running off from F Society. Because at least at this point, we don't know when F Society started. Because clearly they've been doing stuff for a while. They have already existed because all the members are already there.
Yes.
So clearly Darlene is pissed off that Elliot just keeps running off and not being in F Society. Because she obviously knows that he has had many of these breakdowns before. Because you had that scene where obviously the kiss scene happened. But you also had where Elliot was seeing the ghost of his father. So clearly Darlene's had to deal with this for a while.
Plus, in that kiss scene, she alludes to, like, I think she said, "Did you forget again?" Which alludes to the fact that it's happened several times before.
Actually, yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Well, Angela said that Elliot started breaking down once Darlene moved back to whatever city they're living in. So I'm assuming that that's around when F Society would have started. So however long Darlene's been living in the same place that Elliot's been in. Which I don't know if that's really an important thing to know, but it hasn't been mentioned at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's super important to know how long F Society has really existed for. All we know is that when the series started, it had already begun. Like, all that setup work had already been done.
They've already been established, sort of thing. Yeah.
Had they done any hacks before the series had started, or did they just start?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so.
Nothing. Well, obviously,
I don't think
nothing
they really
major.
touched on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they were doing like minor things or something. I don't know.
I don't think they did minor things. I think they just wanted one massive thing.
Okay.
And they've been, and that's just their thing.
Prior to the series, it was just like getting all the setup work, trying to get in contact with Dark Army, because they already had the connection with Dark Army set up, and like, it wasn't like they had to. Well, obviously, until Dark Army pulled out of the hack, it wasn't like there was a while where they were trying to get Dark Army on board. Clearly, Darlene had already done all that setup before the series had actually started, because they were obviously ready to go.
Yes. Actually, that's a good question. What's your thought on White Rose?
White Rose is a very interesting character, actually. I don't really know what to say about White Rose at this point, because we don't really know much. All we know is time is very important, and Elliot's wasting lots of time. Which is fair when you're someone as important as the leader of a multinational hacking group. I can imagine time's very important to you.
Kenley?
I'm just holding back on everything.
I'm sure there's something there that I could say that could get me spoiled if I wanted to.
This show is one of the most spoiler heavy things ever that I've ever seen. Like, there are so many things you can spoil.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, as we were saying earlier, there's lots of connections between stuff just in this season. So connections between seasons are probably going to be there as well.
Yes.
Which obviously isn't a spoiler if they've been connecting this much. Saying that they're going to keep doing it isn't a spoiler, but
yeah.
And that's just that's just a sign of a good show, because it just means that it's been well written and it's just been planned all along.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I'm pretty sure the creator Sam Esmail, he wrote all 4 seasons together. So he had the entire, I guess, storyline planned from the beginning, so he could make those multi-seasonal connections and stuff.
Yeah.
Which all pays off in the end.
And trust me, it really pays off.
Well,
it will bring tears to your eyes, like the final.
Oh my god.
It's so good.
Well, one of the first things that I realized, one of the first things that happened that sort of clicked with me that stuff was going to be linking back and forth, and this got me thinking about other things that were linking back and forth throughout the series, was when Ollie took the CD from the rapper on the street. The dude who was in Dark Army trying to get into the all-safe systems. So he gave Ollie a CD and was like, hey, here's my mixtape. And Ollie tried to put it... He tried to play it on his computer at home, and that was ended up being how they ended up getting access to the webcam on the computer and started like taking nude videos of Angela, and was like,
Angela, yes,
we're gonna blackmail you with this. And then she decided to go and put the CD into Allsafe's computers to deal with all of this, and also to fuck over Ollie because he's a bit of a cunt. But all of that happened specifically so Elliot could then go and deal with the rootkit, so Elliot could go and take the hard drive to go and meet White Rose. That all of that sort of linked back together just for the purpose of Elliot going and meeting White Rose. That's the entire reason that happened. But when you first see it, where it's like, here's this random rapper on the street trying to give Ollie a mixtape, that doesn't make any sense if you just look at it by itself. But
it's very out of the blue, yeah.
Yeah, when you look at it as like a big connected web of different story points, you're like, oh, that makes sense why that happened.
You'll find a lot of that in
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's so hard not being able to talk.
I know, right?
However, when we do get to the future podcasts, my god, it'll be a minefield of just...
Maybe, hopefully we'll get more people on it, and then we'll just have like a massive podcast.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
That would be interesting, yeah. It'll obviously be absolute hell to get the audio set up, but we're here now.
Maybe
so...
physical space by then. You never know.
Maybe. Probably not.
This stuff might take off. Not this stuff, but the main channel.
Maybe. I don't know. What else do I actually have on this list?
Let's
see. So, there's so much to say about this series, but we've already covered so much of it.
Yeah. I think the main hook point is, I think it's episode 7 or 8 when the fourth wall break happens.
Yeah.
Because we've always, us as the audience has always been Elliot's like imaginary friend, right?
Is that actually what's okay? Even if you might not want to spoil anything, but is that what's actually happening there? Are we actually supposed to be Elliot's imaginary friend? Is that actually what's happening there, or is there more to it? You can say if there's more to it or not. I don't, because we already know he has a split personality, so
I think it's just at the imaginary point. From what I recall, yeah.
Yeah,
but
I think so.
There's more to it, and there's not more to it. What the fuck? Yeah.
But it does serve as a really interesting way to sort of handle doing recaps and handle doing like just what's going on in the series at the time, rather than be like, here's what happened last time. They still do that.
Exactly. Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, but we've been his imaginary friend for, at that point, like 7 or 8 episodes by now. So when he actually like directly, I wouldn't say orders, but just speaks to us in such like a demeaning manner, be like, what the fuck just happened? You're just like, whoa. Like, it's hard to explain.
Mm-hmm.
But the first time I watched it, I was just shocked. Like, I think it gave me chills just because of like the way it's shot and just the way how everything just like connected together. And then the following event, with like the plot point where Mr. Robot is Elliot or vice versa, whatever. The episode was just a lot to take in.
Yeah.
As a whole, yeah. Which is probably another one of those episodes where you just be like, yep, I'm done for the night. Like, I just have to sleep on this.
Mm-hmm. So, let's see. I had a point there and I forgot what it was going to be. Right. The inner monologues are actually a really interesting way to handle it, because when Elliot normally talks, he's sort of just a very socially awkward person. He's gotten better throughout the series, but he's still sort of socially awkward. You don't really get a good understanding of what's actually happening. But the only time where he's actually being himself is where he's talking in his head or directing to his imaginary friend.
Yeah, because that's where he feels most safe.
Because a lot of series, they try to do everything through just regular open dialogue. You don't really get much of what's happening inside of the characters' heads. And this is actually one of the things that I do like about how a lot of anime handle it. You sort of get, like, when you start hearing someone's inner monologue, you sort of get a bit more understanding of how the character themselves are trying to approach the situation, rather than just, here are the actions they're taking, here's the results. You sort of get an idea of, okay, here's why I'm doing this. And Mr. Robot does that in a really, really good way.
It makes it more, I guess, approachable, just because it relates to us so much. Because more or less, he's a real person. Like, he's going through all this mental shit.
Well, yeah, most people haven't had anything as bad as Elliot really has had, but you can still empathize with the fact that he has like really bad shit going on in his life.
He has to deal with F society, has to deal with his mental struggle, his job that's collapsing, I guess.
Well, he fucking hates his job anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So then there's those 3 points plus side events as well. There's just a lot of shit. Put simply.
Well,
yeah.
I can, like, when it comes to his shit job, I can definitely empathize with that point, because as much as I love programming, at this point, I don't know if would I be able to do that as a job for like 20, 30 years? Like, is that something I want to spend my entire life doing? Or do I want to, go off and build my own thing doing it? Or just, like, do I want to be someone who's just stuck at a desk my entire life working for someone else, or do I want to do my own thing? That's sort of where I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And I'm not planning to take down any multinational corporations, but you can definitely empathize with that idea of wanting to go off and build something yourself. And that's what Elliot's done. He's built F Society to go after some cause. Even though that cause is going to be collapsing the entire world's economy, it's still a cause that he's giving himself. And judging by what's been happening, he doesn't seem to have any direction he wants to go in his life. He's sort of like, I'm stuck in this dead-end job. Even though I'm good at my job, it's not really going anywhere. And then he builds up F Society and it's like, I'm going to do something in this world that I'm going to be remembered for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Something he's deeply passionate about.
Mm-hmm. Do we ever get an idea about... you don't have to say why, but do we ever get an idea about why some of the members joined F Society? Because obviously we can work out why Darlene joined, but as for the other members...
I actually can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
I presume there's something there, because Romero is just he's a weed grower. Like, why is he here? Or you have, what's her face? The Muslim girl who's, like, she goes to uni and she seems to have, like, a reasonable life going on. Actually, no, she did have a reason. Yeah, I think she was the only one who did give a reason. She basically just hates the world that exists and hates, student debt and all the problems that money causes. That was her reason. But I don't think
the top 1% of the 1% who play God without permission.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the common reason.
Okay, but there's not like an explicit scene that sort of goes over why they joined. It's sort of just like a general hatred of...
I think so.
I'm not gonna say that there isn't a scene, because I probably have misthought it or missed it, but on the top of my head, I can't recall.
Right.
Yeah, neither can I.
So it's just safe to assume that it's like a general hatred of the current system that exists.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
I think. Yeah. Everything about this show is just I think.
That's entirely fair. It's hard to say anything definitive.
Yeah, exactly. And when you watch an episode, if you're just laying in bed trying to sleep, it just makes you think so much.
I don't do that. That's a bad idea.
Oh my god. I couldn't stop thinking about those episodes some of the nights.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you're not binging it and you're watching it every week. It's think about it all week.
Us in season 4, Kenley.
Oh my god.
Like, fuck.
That would have been such a different experience. I did watch Mr. Robot. I watched the first 2 episodes back when they first came out, so when you would have watched them. I was watching it with my sister back then.
Yeah.
But back then I was also real big into Game of Thrones. And
oh yeah.
That was when Game of Thrones was really good, because that would have been
probably season...
We're going to find out. When did Mr. Robot
3
start?
or 4? I think it's 2015.
Mr. Robot. Let's find out. Yeah, it probably would have been 3 or 4, yeah. Mr. Robot's 2015.
Yeah.
And Game of Thrones. Oh, I was also big into... I think I was big into Walking Dead at that point. I can't remember if it was still good.
Oh, I think I was as well.
Let's see. So, list of episodes. And episode, yep. 2011 was season 1. Maybe I wasn't still watching it. Maybe? I don't know. It was season 5 apparently. I don't know. I was watching something else at the time and just sort of fell out of it.
Yeah.
But I am very happy that you guys got me back into it. I'm
Oh,
I
we're
definitely
glad
enjoyed
that
the
we
show.
got someone into it.
Yeah,
I've been trying so hard to get everyone on that, but they're like,
How
oh, nah.
how can't you
I'm like,
get people in a tech field into Mr.
I
Robot? Like,
don't
how's
know.
that?
I don't even know. Like that pilot is so good. It's like
Oh,
I think the
It's
pilot
like a
might be
cat.
too good.
I
yeah.
don't care if they don't watch it, but I just want them to give it a go,
Mm-hmm.
really. Because that pilot just showcases everything. Obviously, no, not everything,
Mm-hmm.
not even half of it, but a lot of what's good about the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you got obviously the very serious scenes. You got the hacking scenes. You got just there's the fun scene with Gnome.
What? And
An executive using Linux.
Yeah, that's the one. Executive. Yeah,
Yeah, I know, an
Um,
executive. I'm using Linux. Old habits, they die hard. Which just exists so we know that he knows how to use a terminal. That is the only reason that scene needs to exist. There is no other reason that it needs to exist. Because you have that scene way later in the series where Tyrell SSHs into one of the Evil Corp servers and sees the file that Elliot put there.
yes.
And that is the reason why that exists. So that we know he can do that. Because otherwise you'd be like, why does Tyrell know how to use a terminal? He's just an executive.
I think it also might be just to establish a baseline relationship with Elliot.
I guess so, yeah.
At that point, yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're both Linux enthusiasts, I guess, or users at least. So there's at least that commonality between the two.
Actually, I think that I would have got more out of the Linux side than you guys did, because there was a lot of
Oh,
there's a lot of
I can
little
agree
hints
with
in
that.
there with just random applications. Stuff like, why is this here?
Yeah.
And like when I saw season 1, I wasn't into programming.
Mm-hmm.
So there was any of the Linux stuff I would have completely missed.
I think most people who watch this series, most of this, like the hacking side and the programming stuff, went over their heads.
Yeah.
At least
Yeah.
now you
Wait,
can sort
were
of get. Sorry?
Were you into programming in Linux back then, Brody?
I had done a programming class at that point. I knew about Linux, and I lost my shit with the GNOME and KDE scene. But I got like the very high level references that were there, but I didn't get anything like, because there was some references later on in season 1 where it's just like Elliot's writing a bash script to do some hacking in Nano, which is just fucking hilarious. Or the fact that he uses GNOME in general, it's just like, is dumb enough. Like no serious hardcore Linux user is using GNOME. That's not happening. I think he's running Ubuntu. Like, that's not happening. Like, someone who's taking this seriously is going to be running something like Kali Linux, or maybe they'll build something up with Arch or something like that. They're not going to be running fucking Ubuntu.
Yeah. That being said, I'm pretty sure a lot of the technical like code and programming is actually quite accurate.
Yes.
Which is also a nice little detail.
Which never happens
you'll
in
find-
movies and shows.
Ooh.
Oh, CSI Cyber.
I was going to say that scene.
I mean,
anyone who
Co-op
doesn't know the
programming.
scene we're talking about, okay? There's a scene where someone is hacking into the I think that we're talking about the same one. Hacking into like the CSI mainframe or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're trying to stop the hack by both typing on the keyboard at once.
I found it. There you go.
I can't play it. I'll get this pulled very, very quickly. Just look up NCIS 2 idiots 1 keyboard. You'll find the video. And they're typing on both sides of it like it's piano or something like that, which is obviously not how a keyboard works. And then their boss walks over and just unplugs the computer as if that's going to help. It's like, no, they've SSH'd into the server, not this fucking computer.
Oh.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, so if we're comparing it to that, I think that Mr. Robot might have the most realistic idea of what hacking is.
Definitely.
There's some scenes which are a little bit exaggerated because they sort of have to be. Like, hacking into Steel Mountain's air conditioning system. That was a little bit too easy. You can't. It's not like you could just plug a random Raspberry Pi into their wiring and then it just suddenly magically works. Like that's a little bit exaggerated, but most of it is pretty good.
Yes. At the end of the day, it is still a TV show or movie or some sort of medium like that. But it still has to be, because if it was fully accurate, it would take way too long.
Sure,
really.
yeah.
And it wouldn't cater to as wide of an audience either. If
Yeah.
it was,
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to go as consumer friendly as like Silicon Valley, but you also don't need to go NCIS.
Yeah. It's an excellent middle ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that what they did well, we might have briefly touched on this earlier, is showing that hacking isn't just breaking into accounts.
Yes.
Because most of Elliot's so-called hacking is, you know, finding people's Facebook pages, finding how the accounts people have online, finding, like, he found the, early on with Krista's boyfriend, who he stole the dog from.
He was cheating.
Yeah, he found it out because...
he was actually married. Yeah.
So he found out that he had a Facebook profile with a different name, and then he found his dating profile and found out that he actually had a couple of names because he was able to reverse image search the profile picture he was using.
I mean, the very first scene of the show, there's the pedophile in the cafe.
Yeah. That scene was actually really good.
Yeah.
I think that with that, like, Elliot seemed a bit more socially capable than he otherwise normally would be. I don't know what's going on there. Maybe, like, I don't know. Did that scene actually happen at the start of the series? Like, or was it supposed to be before, like, the main stuff in the series happened? Like, was it supposed to be like a day or so before? Or was it like considerably before? Because he seemed like he had a bit more of a grasp of what was going on at that point. It probably never came up again, did it?
No. I don't think there were any big time jumps.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But yeah.
Maybe he was just having a good day or something.
Or he just had a good day. He was probably just heavy on morphine that day.
That's fair, yeah.
So, once he gets into that, I guess vigilante point where he's actually like, quote unquote, arresting someone for being malicious.
Mm-hmm.
Same sort of thing with the speech with Krista, where he just like lets loose on her and the security guy. If he's in that sort of point of view, he's a lot more social, I guess. Just because he has like that power stance on someone. I guess a T-pose.
Yeah, I guess that once he's talking about something that he's interested in, he can sort of act like a reasonably normal person. But most things just don't interest him.
Yeah.
Which is fair. That's another thing that I can kind of empathize with him with. It's just like, I don't want to deal with most of these useless discussions that people just have for the sake of having. It's like, if you don't have anything important to say to me, just don't talk to me. I'd much rather just be doing my own job. Which I guess might explain part of the reason why he hates his job. Because working in an office, you're sort of going to have to do that water cooler talk. And the only person he liked there was Angela. Everyone else, he was just like, I guess he liked Gideon. It's hard to not like Gideon.
He doesn't have anything against him. Yeah.
He's sort of just like, he's just like middle management. He's just doing his job, but he didn't have anything really to hate about him, unlike Ollie. He's like, let's be bros.
Yeah.
Bros. Bro, let me be your bro. And right after that, he was like, yeah, I don't actually like you, but Angela told me that I had to get along with you, so... So hey, let's be bros, let's hang out. It's like...
Oh.
I don't... Even if Ollie shows up throughout the series again, I don't think I'll ever be able to like him. I think he's just there to be a dick.
Yeah, he's not really that important.
Yeah, it's just his character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One point that we actually... I don't know how we managed to not talk about this yet, was... Angela working for Evil Corp now. So at the end of season 1, she goes to see Colby, and Colby's like, suck my dick. And then they end up talking about like what happened with Evil Corp. And then eventually Colby decides to go to her father's place and offers her a job. And now she just works at Evil Corp.
From the inside.
It's like, I have to change the system from the inside, I guess.
Yeah. Have you met the lawyer?
Yes.
Or has Angela pursued the case?
Yes,
okay,
that did happen. That actually is an important part of her getting the job there, because Colby offered her the job while she was pursuing the lawsuit. And she was like, are you seriously offering me a job while I'm trying to sue your company?
Yeah.
Like, what are you fucking doing? It's like, it's business. This is what happens in business. Yeah, what were you going to say about the lawyer?
I was just making sure because like just trying to gather, because E-Corp did apparently kill Angela's, was it mother? No, father.
No, father's alive.
Father's alive.
It was Elliot's father and maybe Angela's mother. That might be right.
Yeah. 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 I'm just trying to remember.
It has been a long time since you guys watched the series.
Yeah. As I'm just gonna say, the things that may be a little open-ended or just weird, like Angela joining Evil Corp, everything happens for a reason. And if you have a lot of questions, I think once you watch all 4 seasons, I think like the overwhelming majority of questions will be answered.
Mm-hmm.
So
there's a scene that another one of these fucking scenes where I just stopped watching after it happened. The scene where the CEO of Evil Corp was on TV and then he shoots himself in the head.
Oh, that scene.
You know, I remember when this was actually, because I watched it while it was airing live.
I did see this on the Wikipedia page.
Yeah, and that episode actually got delayed 1 week because something that was really similar to that happened. I don't remember what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Do you recall from the Wikipedia page what it was?
No, but I can find it now. Let's see.
Because someone actually did that for real during the week it was supposed to air. So
yeah. Where's... I can't find it. No, I can't find it. But yeah, that sounds like something that happened. So basically, what I'm assuming happened was, okay, if you weren't paying attention to what I was saying, basically in Mr. Robot, someone or the CEO of Evil Corp basically was like, everything's fucked, and then just shoots himself in the head. So I don't know what's actually happened in real life, but presumably this like a similar sort of thing happened like around the same time. And they're like, okay, well, we probably shouldn't air this like right now. That probably isn't going to be a good idea. Because the same thing has happened with some anime series in the past as well. There was, I can't remember what it was, but there was one series where it was about like a big earthquake that happened in Japan. And then, like, as the series started, a big earthquake happened in Japan. And they're like, yeah, we probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
But that fucking scene.
I think there's this Amazon series coming out, something about man-made viruses, and it was supposed to air like a couple of months ago, and then they decided to not.
Oh yeah, I think that's gonna go down well. It'll be real popular right now. I guarantee that.
Actually, dropping in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I
have not heard about that one. I guarantee
I'm trying to figure out. Let me see if I can figure out what it was.
I guarantee my conspiracy friends are going to be real into that one. Because I know a couple of guys who are real big on the idea that 5G is going to be used as a weapon. That
it's called Utopia.
Yeah.
Utopia.
Okay.
Utopia on Amazon Prime.
I will check that out. Next time we do one of these series, I want to try... It would be interesting to try one of these, but on something that none of the people have actually watched. So we're like, hey, we're going to sit down, watch a series, and then talk about it. Because as good as it is talking about something like Mr. Robot, you guys haven't seen it in a long, long time. So it's sort of just me saying stuff and then sort of like that helping you remember scenes that have happened.
Yeah, that's very cool.
It'll be better for the later seasons, but if there's something down the line where you're like, this show is like looks really good, then I'm happy to try something out, and then we could.
So we can just like watch it like a week period during like a holiday break or something.
Yeah.
And catch up on like the Saturday or Sunday of that week and just recap our thoughts.
Pretty much, yeah. So what else do we have on here? Angela's sort of I don't think she's as insane as some of the characters, but she's actually maybe not insane is the best way to describe her. She's a very determined person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because yep, you're saying?
She feels very I guess unsatisfied about the death of her parent. So just has to get that some sort of, I guess, revenge.
Yeah.
Which leads nicely with the point we were saying before, when she gets the job at E Corp. So she can kind of weave herself into the system to get the case on her terms.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can see, even from early on in the series, you can see how, like, when she was having the discussion with Colby and Elliot and Gideon about like what was happening with the hack that happened, like this was right at the start. I think it might have been the second episode, or might have even been the pilot. After that first hack happened, where the file was put onto the Evil Corp systems, even though she wasn't 100% sure on what she was saying, she was still like, this is my job, I have to do it.
Yeah.
Even though that did sort of backfire on her and make Colby not particularly like her, because she wasn't being 100% accurate on what she was saying. I did not like Colby at that point. I don't like him now, but I think he's an interesting character.
Yeah, for sure. Was it? I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was season 1. When Angela's in like the board meeting with Colby and all that, and then she like screws up.
Yeah, that's
and
the scene
they
I was
make her
talking about.
feel
Yeah.
really bad. Yeah. That was actually like really sad.
And then Elliot like tries to stand up for her, like tries to correct her, and that made it worse. Which
then Angela got really pissed at Elliot for that. I remember that.
I do get that. That makes sense. Just like
it does, yeah.
If I'm gonna fuck up my job, just let me fuck it up. Don't try to make it, because I see what Elliot was trying to do. He was like, I see basically my only friend fucking up here. I kind of need to help her. And what he really should have done was not helped her then, and then sort of like consoled her afterwards.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
Elliot being
a
bit autistic like he is, it's just like, I don't... He didn't know how to handle that situation. It was like, this is just the only way that actually makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this show. It's honestly great.
That's so good.
I wish I'd watched it years ago.
How much that means.
Sorry?
Like, just hearing someone say that based on all the fucking pressure Kenley I've been trying to put on people to watch it.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to watch it for a while. I've just been lazy.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure Jai, he's seen like I think he's seen like 3 seasons. Hasn't seen the 4th.
Oh,
like, I don't know. I think.
Just
I know he's
finish it at that
seen a bit of
point.
it. My ICT supervisor, he's seen half of the 2nd season.
Yeah.
I think he quit at the point which I referred to earlier. I think. But another good friend of mine, Stephen, he's seen all of it, and he's mad about the show as well. So I'm yet to see or hear about a person who doesn't really like it.
I think you would have to try to convince someone who's not into tech to watch it, and then you could find someone, I guess.
That's true. Definitely gets a certain like level of appreciation coming from our point of view.
Yeah. Have you seen Silicon Valley, Brody?
I haven't. No.
Okay.
I did mention it because I've seen some scenes, just because a lot of lecturers like to show scenes from Silicon Valley to explain, like, here's some random... I think there was a course about... I had a big data course, and they showed a scene about how, like, their app was collecting data from kids or something, and they weren't...
That was from MacLeod, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
With James.
So I've seen clips like that here and there, but I haven't actually gone and watched it myself.
Yeah.
It's a good show. It's very different from Mr. Robot. This one's definitely
of course.
very comedy and a lot less realistic, but it's a good show.
Well, I would put Silicon Valley in more of the same camp as like IT Crowd or something like that.
It's pretty much that. Yeah.
Which I also haven't seen, but I've seen clips of.
IT Crowd is meh. It's got laugh tracks, which is I don't like
that puts it off for me.
Oh no, okay, I'm good. I can't do laugh tracks.
Yeah, same. And Silicon Valley is an HBO show, so there's a certain level of there's a certain expectation.
Yes.
And yeah, and the whole show's finished as well. I think I think the last season of Mr. Robot and Silicon Valley was airing at the same time.
Oh wow, okay.
Around the same time, yeah.
Here's some advice to any producers. If your show needs laugh tracks, it's not funny.
Yeah.
Very true.
That's true.
Like, look at something like Community. That's fucking hilarious, and it doesn't need laugh tracks.
Like
Big Bang Theory.
There's this video, lots of videos on YouTube where they cut out the laugh tracks from like Big Bang Theory. It's so awkward.
Yeah, my housemate, he'll sit down and watch like he's always watching something, and I can tell like instantly that it's going to be some sort of shitty like comedy show because I can hear the laugh tracks. Like
yeah,
he's watched like all of Big Bang Theory, all of How I Met Your Mother, Two Broke Girls, and all of them have laugh tracks in them, and they're just not funny. To be fair, right now he's watching X-Files, which is much better.
I haven't seen X-Files.
Oh, I think I saw, like, when they rebooted it kind of a few years back, I think I saw a couple of those episodes.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen the OG collection.
Now I'm just imagining what would happen if you took Mr. Robot and then put laugh tracks over it.
Oh.
There's some scenes in there that you can make really funny if you just stick laugh tracks on it.
Sorry, are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Oh no.
I don't think so.
Take some of the worst scenes and put laugh tracks on them. Like
Shayla.
Shayla being dead, the CEO committing suicide. Fucking Elliot having
taking morphine.
Elliot having like the morphine seizure in his bed.
You know, this could be like a YouTube channel. You know, what's that? It's something like inappropriate censoring or something.
Yeah.
Where it just censors out. This could be like a real YouTube channel. I mean, I can see people not liking it.
No, I think they'll love it. Some people won't like it. I will absolutely adore it.
I would love it. Yeah.
Oh, fucking hell.
It's gonna be a copyright nightmare with YouTube.
Yeah, that's the only problem with it. You wouldn't make a cent from it from ad revenue. They just wouldn't run ads on it.
Yeah. You could argue it's fair use.
I don't know if you could argue that sticking a laugh track over it counts as fair use. Then you would be in the same position where saying, like, mirroring the video would be fair use.
Fair enough. Yeah, it is a lot of gray area in the fair use copyright space.
Well, yeah, you have a lot of... There's been some fair use arguments with the usage of Nintendo video games in the past. So, Nintendo used to be really bad about claiming everyone who would post their stuff. Even it's just like, oh, I'm doing a let's play of whatever game. They'd be like, nope, can't do that. Or hey, I don't know. Even if you're playing like the original Mario, they'd be like, nope, can't do that. They've lightened up since then, but they're still not as open as some companies are. Some companies are like, okay, here we understand that we have like a symbiotic relationship with these streamers and these let's players. So instead of trying to claim the content and make money off of that, it's probably better to just be like, okay, I understand that, you know, we're both benefiting from each other, so I might as well just do it like that.
I think that's like Fortnite and Minecraft. And
well, yeah, they fully understand that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they sort of can only exist in that sphere. It's not like Fortnite or Minecraft have stories. But if you take something like, I don't know, The Witcher. Like, the developers of The Witcher, CD Projekt Red, they could go and claim every single Witcher video that they wanted. But they understand that people playing through The Witcher kind of entices people to actually purchase the game for themselves.
Yeah. Because, like, you make your own stories in those sort of games as well, which is, like, the whole appeal, I guess.
Yeah.
So this is, like, the main story and side quests, but your own adventures in, like, monster hunting or whatever it may be. That's, like, the real grab for people, I think. At least for me, for open world games or adventure, whatnot.
I don't play games, so I can't.
Yeah, that's
shame.
I haven't played a game in a while, but
I pretty much never play games.
So, if we go back to the main topic for just a moment, I'm not entirely sure why Elliot decided to keep the dog. Like, I get why he wanted to take it away from someone who was abusing it, but
a companion.
Is that the reason why he wanted it, you reckon?
Yeah, you can't just leave a dog, right?
Because I was like, why the fuck did Elliot just steal this dude's dog? Like, I get obviously trying to destroy his life for messing with Krista, but like, you don't have to take his dog.
But I guess just like I guess relief for him because he lives alone.
Mm.
So he can just kind of chill with the little doggo while he snorts some morphine.
Actually, that reminded me of a scene. Here's my assumption. I think that before the series started, Elliot was taking one of his like breaks off of morphine because Darlene sort of had a pretty bad, like, she didn't say anything, but she sort of had like a are you fucking kidding me look on her face when she came into Elliot's house and saw that there was some like powder on the table.
Yeah.
So my assumption is that before the series had started, Elliot was off of morphine for a while, and that's why he doesn't understand. Like, he didn't remember anything that was happening because he was going through like morphine withdrawals. And then as the series started, he sort of got himself to a point where he was functional again. And then as it went on, Darlene was like, "Why the fuck are you back on morphine? You were doing good for a while."
Yeah. Ever since F Society kicked in, I think that peaked him a little bit.
Yeah.
So he had to,
But that would explain why he doesn't remember like starting up F Society, because he probably was going through like morphine withdrawals and just doesn't know what the hell was happening back then.
Yeah.
At least that's my theory. It might not be correct, but it would also explain why Darlene said, I can't believe this is happening again. You forgot who I was again. That would also explain that scene as well.
It would, yes. I'm just thinking of a particular season 4 thing.
You just wait, Brody. It's gonna be a wild ride.
3 more podcasts. Is season 4 the last season?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And when did that one come out?
Last year.
Yeah, late last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the only show that I've watched, where Kenley and I, we watched it live from America with ads. So there's a lot of bullshit in between, but my god, was it worth it?
Yeah, it's the only show I've ever watched live as well.
Yeah.
I think the only show that I have sat through ads for something online was the newest season of Rick and Morty. I don't know why I sat through ads for it, but American ads are fun. Because I think it was like American McDonald's ads.
So weird.
It's like, what the fuck is this?
They're pretty weird. There's a lot of like medication.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
That's something you never see here.
Well, the most you really get is like paracetamol. But
yeah,
like there will be like actual drug ads on American
ask
TV.
your doctor about recommending X and Y. So that's
like prescription drug ads, which is, you can't do that in Australia. Like that is not allowed.
Yeah. I don't think that's allowed in most places, but America is weird.
It is a weird place.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. I get wanting to like let people advertise stuff like that, but I think there's a point where you can kind of say, okay, this probably shouldn't be getting advertised.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, some prescription medication should be left to the doctors themselves, and someone who knows nothing about the treatment shouldn't be recommending that or choosing something just based on an ad.
Yeah.
You don't need to go ask your sketchy, insane drug dealer for some Suboxones.
My laptop is running out of battery.
Oh, good.
I should probably go get a charger.
If you want to go grab that, I'll just talk to Corey for a bit.
Cool. I'll be back.
Cool.
Well, good. Oh, fucking.
Bye.
Why did he do that? Now the scenes are fucked up. Okay.
No.
That's fine. I'll just leave it. So anyone watching the audio version, nothing's happened for you. The video version, I'm now in 3 boxes. So, hey, that's going to happen. So how did you actually find Mr. Robot then?
So back in high school, I used to go on like these weekly JB Hi-Fi trips with my friend, just buy like random DVDs of TV shows. I saw JB Hi-Fi had like this exclusive.
Oh, 1 second. For anyone who doesn't
artwork.
know what JB Hi-Fi is, it's like a consumer electronics store here in Australia.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, go
So
on.
sell different tech
Yeah.
things, whatnot. So I picked up an exclusive artwork for turns out to be Mr. Robot. I just watch it. And I think I watched it in like a couple days because I just like hooked on it, especially after like those major plot points. But then after that, I waited at least like maybe like another 2 years until I got to watch season 2. Oh, he's back.
Hi, back.
Hello.
Thank you for breaking my scenes.
Oh, sorry. This happened last time on the podcast as well. Should have been prepared.
Should have been.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're saying, Corey?
Yeah, I was started watching season 2 when I was in China for a holiday at the beginning of uni or like end of year 12.
Yeah.
And then another like 2 years happened until I watched season 3.
Wait, hang on. How did you watch it in China?
VPN.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, of course.
Where in China were you?
Shanghai, I believe at that point.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I watched season 1, and then when I watched season 2, I watched season 1, then season 2, just to like recap.
Yeah.
And once season 3, I watched 1, 2, and 3, and then when season 4 rolled around, I was kind of like the end of season 3, so I just kind of streamlined into that fairly seamlessly. Maybe I could watch a recap video or whatnot. But yeah, it's kind of been a bit rocky. Having to like, just kind of kickstart Mr. Robot again and again. Because I'd never watched it when it was like premiering or like fresh off of a DVD release or whatnot.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm glad I stuck with it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm glad you did as well. It's been great so far.
And now I've got a sick ass DVD cover that I never knew would become so cool now that I love the show.
Kenley,
I'll see if I can take a picture of it.
Yeah, go ahead. If you can send it through, I'll try to show it. I was just asking Corey how he managed to find Mr. Robot.
Yeah, like I think I said it in the sound check, but yeah, one of my high school friends, I think actually it was 2 high school friends. One of them is a tech guy, and the other one is a non-computer person. Yeah, they both just got me into it. And it's crazy because I think Miss Robot may have been my first proper TV show. Or one of the first, because before that I was never into TV shows, but I was big on movies.
Right.
Other than like Mythbusters, which I was a huge fan of Mythbusters. I've seen all 10 seasons. Yeah.
Yeesh.
Yeah, other than that, I don't think I've pretty much watched. I think that was the only TV show I've ever watched before Mr. Robot. Now I watch lots of TV shows.
Do you mean you haven't watched the past 40 years of Neighbours? Oh, fuck. That's a show that's never going to end.
40, that's crazy.
No, it's been going on for longer than that.
Wow.
40 would only take us back to the 80s. It's been definitely going on longer than that. I reckon at least 50 years.
Wow.
Same as Home and Away. My God.
Mm-hmm. One thing that I'm real surprised about whenever I talk to someone from the UK is they actually really like Neighbours. I don't get it. Like, Neighbours is a big thing there.
Oh.
I think it's because the UK is always like, you know, cloudy and shit. So you look at Neighbours and it's just always sunny unless something bad happens. Then it's raining that night.
Yeah. So there's my DVD.
Oh.
Looking clean.
Okay, how can I show this on the screen? I'm gonna do something that will probably break things, and hope it doesn't. Window capture? Yes. Haha, we got it. We want to show this one. This is what happens when I don't have my scenes working. Here we go. That actually looks pretty cool. So you just bought it because it looked cool.
Yeah, pretty much.
Strong themes, violence, sex, coarse language, and drug use. Yes, I don't think the drug use should be at the bottom there. That's sort of like a main theme.
Yeah. But I'm probably gonna buy the box set as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just so I don't have to search for other means to obtain a Foxtel show. Yeah.
Means. Well, yeah, I've been using various streaming sites.
Yep.
Which means I actually watched, I think, the first 3 episodes in like 480p.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
That is sad.
I had to go back and look at some stuff just to make sure that to notice what the program they were using actually was. Because like that, I'd sort of recognize that in the pixely blur.
How did you watch it on 480 when you have 3 videos, like 2 or 3 videos on like a transmission and all that good stuff?
Because I don't know. That's a good question, actually. I should have just torrented it, shouldn't I? I don't know why I use a streaming site, to be honest. Yeah, I found
that's the only thing you torrent.
I found like some sketchy streaming website that had ads everywhere.
Oh.
And you click on the video to play it, pops up an ad. Click on the video to play it again, ad.
No.
And then
Flash is out of date.
I think like 4 times in, then I eventually got it. It was fun when I was getting ads like, your Windows is out of date. It's like, if you say so, thank you. But yeah, that was fun to watch. I should have just torrented it. That would have been easier.
Yeah.
Or make sure you pay for your content and all that. Don't give your money to Netflix. I have reasons for not liking Netflix right now.
Why is that?
Go look up a series called Cuties, and you'll find out why.
Yeah, I read
God.
That's a whole podcast by itself.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Maybe, just maybe, it's unlikely, but it could be intentional because they got a lot of free press.
The director of the series has been accused of being a child molester.
Oof.
Oh.
Or director of the movie, whatever it is. Yeah. That's the sort of series this is. So.
I don't think the series
or movie.
is
it a series or a movie?
I don't actually know. Yeah, whatever it is, I don't think whatever outrage it was causing, it was the opposite of that. But the Netflix promo material just had weird
that
emphasis on
the promo material shouldn't have been what it was, but I have a feeling the movie is just going to be as bad. The big problem that people are also having with it is the fact that it's rated mature, so it's going to be directed at adults.
Yeah, okay.
Which is just like I'm not exactly in favor. Actually, no, I'm not going to say I'm very much not in favor of making a a movie about 11-year-olds and then making a mature movie and making a sexual movie. That's not a thing I'm at all in favor for.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, that's.
So yeah, Netflix. I don't have a subscription, but I'm not going to get one at all now. And hey, I'd recommend not having one yourself, because I would not recommend supporting a company that's going to, openly support content like this. But hey, it's your choice, it's your money. Do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
What's Mr. Robot actually on to stream with?
Foxtel.
Okay, if you're not in Australia.
USA Networks thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever
Oh,
that
yeah,
is.
okay, it's not on. That's annoying.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's on Amazon in the US.
Okay, that's acceptable.
Maybe. I might be wrong.
Let's find out. Let's find out what Mr. Robot is streaming on. Mr. Robot stream online. Yeah, USA Network, Amazon, Finder.com. Where can I watch Mr. Robot online? So
there's this nice website called Just Watch, where it will tell you where you can watch what in which region. So sometimes, like a Netflix thing, it may only be available in, I don't know, the US or Korea, or Japan. So it will tell you, so you can just quick VPN, and suddenly you're watching, I don't know, Breaking Bad or Dexter.
So it seems like you can get it on iTunes. You can get it on Microsoft's movie store. You can get it on Google Play, Foxtel Binge, and also Telstra has a streaming thing, I guess. So what was that website you just told me about? Just Watch.
Just Watch.
Oh yeah, that's. Oh, okay, cool.
And then you can actually pick the country. So I'm just gonna go US, and let's see. Oh yeah, it's on Amazon Prime Video. It's also on DirecTV, Sling, and USA Network for streaming, and for buying, it's on Apple TV, Amazon, Google Play, Fandango, and Vudu, whatever that is. That's Vudu with a VUDU.
Yeah, Fandango I recognize, but Vudu I don't. That's actually pretty useful. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, it's a good website.
So yeah, do that, or stream it online through other means. I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah,
it's your computer.
If you're gonna binge it, then just get a free trial for Binge.
Yeah.
What even is Binge? You keep mentioning this.
Oh, it's Foxtel's new streaming service. It's called Binge. It's encouraging. It emphasizes bingeable shows.
Okay.
So it's got all of HBO. Yeah, pretty much all the HBO shows are only available on Foxtel, and I think the Foxtel Now or Go, whatever the streaming size was, this pretty much replaces that, I think. Although I could be wrong. I'm not a fan of Foxtel. Way overpriced. And
definitely.
Yeah, like I remember when I got the trial for Mr. Robot, there were ads before you could stream it on every episode. They were like, Macca's ads and LG ads.
That's because you didn't pay for the premium stream tier.
You're paying like $25 a month for Foxtel Go at a base, and you're still getting ads.
Yeah. And you can't get Mr. Robot on the base. You have to get like the entertainment pack or drama pack or one of them.
Oh, I hate Foxtel.
Yeah. Then suddenly, if you want to watch Silicon Valley, then you have to get the comedy one.
Foxtel. No one from Foxtel's listening to this, but Foxtel, listen to me. On the internet, we don't have these things called channel packages. Do not bring them here.
Yeah.
I don't want, like, as much as I don't like Netflix right now, I would hate Netflix even more if they started doing that. Like, just imagine if it became the norm to be like, okay, you have a Netflix comedy subscription. If you want to go watch this other thing, you need a Netflix drama subscription. Oh, you want this one? You need a Netflix fantasy subscription. It's like, no. Stop that.
Even if you hate Netflix, you gotta give it up to them because they kind of started the whole pay like a $10 thing and just watch everything as much as you want.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not exactly great now because now you have to pay for 6 different streaming services if you want to watch everything, which is basically TV all over again.
Oh, that's right.
Do you know how Netflix actually started? Like, they've been around before like you could do streaming.
DVD mailing. Yeah.
I've heard rumors. I don't know if this is just like a myth or something like that. That their original name was going to be Mailflix.
Oh.
Which, you know, one is a bad name just in general because Mailflix just sounds like a gay porn service. But also that would not that name would not have aged well. It would have it wouldn't have worked now.
Yeah. I just remembered. I think I talked to Kenny about this, but have you seen Ex Machina, Brody?
The name rings a bell. I don't think I've seen it.
Top tier movie, so good.
Machina.
Anyway, the creator of that also created a TV show called Devs, and that's the synopsis on IMDb is a computer engineer investigates the secretive development division in her company, which she believes is behind the disappearance of her boyfriend. So I want to watch that.
Yeah, I want to watch it.
Because it's by Alex Garland, who did Ex Machina.
Okay.
Hey, this could be the show that we just kind of...
Oh, can we, please?
I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah.
So this hasn't started yet, has it?
It has.
It has. But I haven't seen any episodes. It might be still on its first season.
Yeah. List of episodes. I don't want to read the descriptions of them. Seems like 8 episodes are out. Yeah. So it seems like it ended in April.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there going to be a season 2?
It's on Hulu.
It's also on Binge as well. That's how I found it again. Yeah.
How much is Binge?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Let me check.
Probably like 50 a month.
It's something ridiculous, I'm sure.
Oh no, 14 a month for the standard package, 18 a month for the premium package.
It's not too bad.
It's not awful.
Yeah, that's...
It's way better than what Foxtel used to be.
Yeah, well... It can't be worse than Foxtel. I guess they had to sort of change their name because Foxtel sort of has like this really bad name for themselves at this point. Like no one likes Foxtel.
Yeah.
You could honestly just cancel Netflix and get that instead, because Netflix has like almost nothing good anymore.
Oh, you know, VPN. That's also an option.
That's true.
See? Brody's got some good videos on how to set up transmission.
Or, you know, you could use... Yeah, that's also an option. I'm actually probably going to replace it with QBitTorrent at some point. Just because people say... Better? Apparently so.
Fucking
I don't know.
Hannibal's on Netflix now. Oh.
Yeah, it's been there for like 3 weeks.
What's on Netflix?
My probably second or third favorite TV show, Hannibal.
And you're going to rewatch it?
I've got all the DVDs at home.
Yep.
But I'll probably watch it on Netflix because I don't have a DVD player in my PC room.
Are you a fan of collecting DVDs, Brody?
No, I just collect them.
Do you have any?
I have 0 DVDs. My mum's a big fan of collecting DVDs. But I just have lots of books. Like, here's one.
Anime.
Yes.
Manga. Yeah.
Light novel. Basically a novel, but there's pictures in every, like, 50 pages or so.
Yeah. Oh, Doctor Sleep's on Netflix now. Interesting.
Give you an example. What was that? Oh, here you go. What was that?
Doctor Sleep, the Shining 2 essentially is on Netflix now.
Okay. Yeah, so like you got regular novel stuff, and then like every so often you get like a picture like this.
Yeah.
Full page. Okay.
Yeah. So usually it's going to be for some like important scene that happens. They'll be like, here's a picture of something that's happening, basically. Some light novels use more images than others. Shield Hero is kind of, it doesn't have that many, but like, then there's others where there'll be every like 30 or so pages, something like that. So it sort of depends on how much art they want to have, really. Yeah, basically.
Cool.
But yeah, I've never been a big fan of DVDs.
Yeah, same. I have 0 as well, but I'm not a fan of books either.
I can't do ebooks. It's not a thing.
Well, I don't do books at all.
Oh, you just don't read?
Yeah, I don't think I have willingly read a book since like the year 7 Premier's Reading Challenge.
Jesus. Okay.
So, but that being said, I read a lot of text in general. Like I read a lot of like articles and stuff.
I don't miss the Premier's Reading Challenge.
That was good stuff.
Mine wasn't actually a fun thing. It was actually part of our assessment to do the Premier's Reading Challenge.
Oh.
So I didn't enjoy it. Like the first couple of years it was optional, and then when you got to like the end of primary school, then they made you do it. It's like, I don't want to do this. Let me go play video games.
Yeah. Maybe like the school could say, oh, we have 100% success rate with Premier's Reading Challenge.
That was exactly what it was.
Yeah.
So I found the least terrible thing I could read. And I think I read like Goosebumps or something.
Yeah, like I think that kind of defeats the purpose of what they were trying to do with the reading challenge. It was something to encourage students.
Yeah, so anyone who's not Australian who would have no idea what this is it a thing outside of South Australia?
Oh,
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Not sure.
Anyway, so the Premier's Reading Challenge was basically a way to encourage kids to like read, just start reading more, because a lot of people, it's a thing in New South Wales as well. It was basically a way to encourage kids to start reading more, because there's a lot of kids now who just, don't really read any books. They just, it wasn't as bad as when like we were kids, but it's gotten even worse now. There was just a lot of people who they sort of learned to read at school and then read as little as possible, and it doesn't stick as much. And as they get older, it's obviously then going to be harder to read, and you kind of want to make sure they get those skills as early as possible. So it was just sort of a fun way to get people to start reading, and I think you got like a award if you finish the challenge. And
got a medal.
Got medals.
Yeah.
And you got every consecutive year, I think you got like gold and bronze, silver, gold, Hall of Fame, and all that.
Yeah. Basically, it was a way to encourage kids to just keep reading rather than just thinking it's like maths and just never bothering it. Basically.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that probably could be worked on. Just some fun way to get kids into maths. Because by the time you hit like
cool math games.
Yeah, like cool math games.
That was one of the only websites that were unblocked at school.
Yeah.
Yep. Because one of the I think by the time we hit like year 10, most people kind of realize that what you're learning in maths class, you don't need to know. It's like trigonometry, don't need that. Statistics, don't need that either. So that would be nice if there was some way to get kids actually interested in actually learning that stuff. Because right now, most teachers are pretty dry with the way they teach it.
Very dry.
It's not like it has to be. For example, you go check out do you know who 3 Blue 1 Brown is?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay, Corey does. It's a statistics channel. I guess it's mainly statistics. It does other sort of math stuff as well, and shows everything that's going on through visualizations and like animations and stuff. So if it's talking about, for example, what exponential growth is, there was one early on showing how population movement between different sectors can actually cause a virus to expand. And basically it showed it with like a visual representation of here are each of the populations, here's a dot moving between them, here's how that's actually spreading in those populations, and then as those infected people go to other populations, here's how that spreads. Basically, it's just a more interesting way than just like, here's the formula for how exponential growth happens. And those are some of the videos that have really gotten me back into actually, I guess, enjoying maths concepts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with like computer file videos. Like those are fun ways to teach different
that's
programming
so good.
concepts.
Yeah. What's the A-star one? Probably about 5 times.
That is
yeah.
That was very
Definitely.
very useful. Thank
Yeah,
you,
the
Wolfgang.
lectures are pretty dry.
What was that?
The lectures, some of the AI lectures we had, well, actually, most of them were super dry.
Yeah.
The workshops, the toots and the pracs were. Actually, I never went to the pracs, but the toots were really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's sort of just. A lot of the lecturers are pretty dry at the uni. Like, there's a couple which are good. For example, the one we have for big data right now.
Oh, what a lad.
Yeah, he's a lad.
But then you also have like Adam. Adam's really good.
Yeah.
And Stuart and Doug.
Was pretty good.
Stuart's
Joe.
good, yeah.
Joe, yeah. Yeah.
If there's nothing else other than the slide you're talking about, then why even bother?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so many lecturers who are like, here's the slide. I will literally read the slide to you. It's like, why am I here? That's why most of the lecturers don't have people showing up, because most of the lectures are just nothing. You can literally read it yourself and get the same information.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of big data, though, how much do you love that person with the questions?
Oh no.
God. I knew from like the first week that this was gonna be like a thing. Like, this person was gonna.
After we heard that she'd failed big data before, and it's not a hard course at all.
Yeah, and and like this person's doing a master's.
Mm-hmm.
It's
okay.
Concerning.
So here's what's happening. We're doing a big data basics class right now. It's a master's course. So it being a master's course, it's kind of assumed that you have some base level of knowledge if you're going to be in a tech class. This person has asked some of the most fundamental tech questions I've ever heard. And I'm not being like, oh, how does this specific big data technology work? What exactly is Hadoop? I don't understand the difference between Hadoop and HDFS. Stuff like that's entirely reasonable. I don't have those answers perfectly down pat in my head. No. What is AI?
and not like specifics, just like a high level.
What
just
does
those 2 letters?
AI stand for?
Yeah.
Didn't understand that didn't understand what batch processing was.
Or petabyte.
Petabyte,
Yeah, PB.
yeah.
What is PB? It's like, I don't know, are you a speedrunner? Are you thinking of that sort of PB? There's always, like, I thought these people got filtered out in the first, like, 2 or so years.
Yeah.
But apparently someone made it to a
so.
master's course.
Yeah, just shows how broken the grading is.
Mm-hmm. Actually, since I've got both of you here, did you hear about the potential changes to the way that Hex is, or potential changes to Hex that are potentially coming up with
I think
failing?
I think Josh told me about it briefly.
Oh, Josh would definitely be big on this one for sure.
Yeah.
So, okay. I guess I'll give a bit of a background to what Hex is. So, Hex is basically the loan program we have for universities, similar to how the US works, except it's not going to bankrupt you if you fail.
By the government.
Yeah, basically
not by private.
It's a government a government loan scheme to go to university. So if you want to go to software engineering, you just say, "Hey, I want Hex," and then once you get accepted to the course, basically the government will pay for that. And then once you're making more than $45,000 a year, then you have to start paying it back. Anything before that point, you don't have to pay anything back, but it will still keep having interest put on top of it. So if you never pay it back, you might have like a $300,000 debt, but you don't have to pay it back until you're past this certain threshold of income. And
yeah, and the interest isn't like crazy. Oh, actually, there is no interest.
It's
the only thing is it gets indexed for inflation against inflation every year, which is, well, I think it's as good as it gets.
Yeah. It's without having I can give my arguments for why a free system is terrible, but without doing that, this is probably the cheapest way that it could be done for, like, the individual.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Personally, I don't have much of a problem with the way that it's been structured. Now, the proposed change, I'm actually very much in favor for, which Josh would not like. Basically, actually, you know what? So I don't get anything wrong, I will find the letter. So, Hex change. Is that broken everything? Just entertain people for a couple of seconds, I guess. Actually, it'll be on my Twitter, won't it? The great entertainment,
I'll
guys.
do some imaginary juggling.
There's also going to be audio listeners, so maybe do some...
Oh, yeah.
I'm juggling multiple balls.
Multiple, yeah.
Where is... How long ago did I retweet? I post way too much on Twitter. Here we go. Cool, found it.
Excellent.
That's way too small. I'll put it over here and zoom in on it. I can't zoom in on it. I'm going to... God, this is... Open image in a new tab. This is really annoying. There we go. Cool. So, the Morrison government is taking action to protect students and taxpayers from the accumulation of large help debts. So, Hex Help is what the full name of it is. That do not provide benefits to the students and are unlikely to be repaid. The Job Ready Graduates legislation contains measures to strengthen and extend student protection and provider integrity by... So here is where the changes are going to come in. So requiring that universities ensure that all students are academically suitable for their course of enrollment and that students are engaged with the course and maintaining a reasonable completion rate. I don't think that anyone's going to really have a problem with that specific point. Unless you have some reason to disagree with that one. No, nothing?
No.
The university should basically be ensuring that people are actually capable of doing the course, and if they're not, basically get rid of them, which is how the system already works.
Yep.
Ensuring that a student's Hex Help debts can be forgiven if their progress has been affected by special circumstances. This is one of the points that I think people did skip over. So basically, if you were in a situation where, I don't know, your mother was in a car crash or something, and you weren't able to do the exam or something like that, that could be taken into consideration. Yeah. And here's where the big change happens. I'm entirely fine to be wrong on this, but I feel like this is a massive improvement. So, students with a low completion or students with a low completion or progression rate will no longer be able to access a Commonwealth-supported place, HEX help, or fee help. So basically means they won't have access to the loan program. A low completion rate would be a student who has failed more than 50% of 8 or more units in a bachelor course. If a student can demonstrate circumstances, I can't read apparently. I need to do more of the Premier's reading challenge. If a student can demonstrate, circumstances have adversely affected their academic performance, for example, illness or bereavement, their education provider can allow for consideration of these impacts. If a student transfers to another course, the low completion rate will not be carried with them. So if you transfer from software engineering to electrical engineering because you were failing a lot in software engineering, that won't follow you from that, and you can still keep going with your HEX help. Yep. Now, where do you guys actually stand on this? Because personally, I think that if people are not capable of completing the course, they shouldn't be getting basically infinite government loans to keep doing it forever.
Okay.
Plus, it gives them. Oh, you go.
Okay, like all these loans. If the whole loan system thing is coming from the taxpayer, because without the taxpayer, the government wouldn't have any money for loans. And if someone's failing a year, the whole year, and they keep repeating for 10 years, and you know that they're gonna keep doing this for the rest of their lives because they're, I don't know, getting Centrelink or whatever, or not Centrelink, youth allowance, whatever, and they're not going. That's 10 times 10. That's $100,000 that's never gonna be paid, and there's more involved with the youth allowance. That's probably like another half that, and it's gotta be tax money. So I am kinda in favor for it, but there needs to be like a better. Maybe they're doing it because they need the youth allowance. Look, maybe a better system might be just help them. Okay, there is
Are you
job
arguing for UBI, Kenley?
Am I what?
Universal basic income.
Well, I am in favor of that.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
Cool. Just wanted to get that ground level there.
Yeah. Yeah, but like I am in favor of the new proposal, with exceptions, of course. Like some people need some more time than some others.
For
but
sure.
After a certain, once you fail the same course 5 times, it's probably not
for you.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's, like you mentioned, it doesn't carry across to another course. And maybe you're doing software engineering for the 3rd time and you realize, maybe this isn't for me and I should be doing, I don't know, medicine or whatever. Then,
sure, yes.
So,
yeah.
I just said a lot of things that I don't even know what I said.
Corey, what about yourself?
On it, Corey?
All of that, plus it gives more incentive for people to actually do well, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't want to almost pay off your stuff early because you're not doing so great, then why not just work a bit harder and have that loan support for you? And you can pay it off in your own time when you have a career foundation built up, and you're earning over that 40K threshold.
So I'm completely in favor of this change, but I'll just play devil's advocate for the sake of playing devil's advocate. So one of the arguments I did hear a lot on Twitter was this is sort of incentivizing people to do well at university by fear. Now, if we go back to where I actually stand on this, I think that if you're going to university, there is some level of personal responsibility you should have for getting that work actually done. But
absolutely,
I can see the argument for why someone would be against it because it's trying to incentivize people to work hard by fear. But where do you guys stand on that point then?
Oh, it's not so much fear.
It's
really
more okay. University is like the first thing you do as an adult. Like no one's holding your hand anymore, like high school.
Exactly.
And no one's pressuring you to attend lectures. It's your own responsibility, and like it. I mean, I don't think it's a fear thing. You decided to do it, so you should probably. I mean, at the end of the day, if there's like $5 million or $5 billion of debt that's not paid back, it's at the end of the day, it's on the taxpayers, and someone's got to pay for it anyway. So
yeah.
There was another point that I had, but I can't exactly remember. There was one point was, I saw a lot of people saying that this is sort of going to disincentivize people from lower income households to go to university, but I don't really think that that's a fair argument to make, because it's not a secret my family isn't rich by any means. I come from like a pretty working class family. For the last couple of years of my high school, I was just living off of a single parent income. We were on like $30,000 a year, which is not much. I don't think that saying that just because you're going to cancel people's loans if they fail a lot is going to be a disincentive. I think that for people who want to go to university and who actually want to do it, not that they're going there because they think that's what you have to do as an adult, I think the people who actually want to do that because they want to better themselves, those people, I think, regardless of the circumstances, there is still a loan system there. They're going to work hard. And if you want to make something out of your life, you have to work hard. And this is sort of the first step in taking that journey.
Absolutely. Nothing can be spoon-fed to you.
Pretty
Not
much.
as an adult. At all.
Yeah, and the whole point of Hex is to just kind of level the playing field.
Sure,
and
yeah, there's obviously going to be people who can't afford to get, like, to actually pay off a American-style loan, for example.
Yeah. So I mean, you can get you're pretty much guaranteed. Everyone is guaranteed as long as they're like a citizen. So I don't get how that argument is.
I think it's people taking ideas from the American context and applying the American loan system to the Australian loan system as if it's a one-to-one replacement, which it's a very, very different system. Our system is basically the most
just like
I guess the least restrictive loan system you could possibly imagine.
Exactly.
You only index for inflation. You have, it's basically guaranteed, regardless of what your credit score is, as long as you have the score to actually get into the course. You don't have to pay it back until you're making well above the point that you can survive at.
Yeah, and even when you do, it's only like 1% of your income.
Oh yeah, it didn't even get to that point,
like the tax office automatically takes. And well, like if you're making 100K a year, then it's probably going to take only 4 or 5% of your income. But at that point, it's negligible.
And that's I think that's 1% per annum, isn't it?
I'm not sure.
I can't remember what the exact number was.
Yeah,
but
they regularly take a small portion.
Yeah, but it's such a minuscule amount that unless you're living in like Melbourne, like in the inner city of Melbourne, which you shouldn't be doing on $45,000 a year anyway, because that's a stupid idea. Yeah, no, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I guarantee Josh is going to have some other words for it when I'm thinking bringing him on next week, and I guarantee he's going to have a very different opinion on this one.
Roast the comment section.
Gotta bring out the hammer and sickles. Yes, this has been a fun episode. I enjoyed talking about Mr. Robot. That was fun.
Definitely, I'm down for another 3 minimum for Mr. Robot.
And then maybe we'll also do one on devs or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
or,
devs
or another show if a good one comes up.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I'll be once we're done with university and I have more free time, then I'll be more than happy to try out more stuff. Because right now I'm sort of like very strapped for time. I'm working. Oh, hit the mic. I'm working like 15 hours a week at my day job. I'm doing university full time and also doing the content creation full time. So it's sort of like I don't have much time outside of this. I reckon if you put all those together, I'm probably working like 80 or 90 hour weeks. So
yikes.
But I enjoy I enjoy the content creation stuff. So it's not like it feels like it's a lot of work. But
for sure, yeah.
I don't have much free time with all of that stuff together, really.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Mm-hmm. So
Uni is a bit.
Yeah, a bit, definitely.
It's a bit. Yeah.
How are you guys actually going with that right now?
With uni?
Yeah.
Well, ICT project is. I don't have anything more to say than our previous episode. It's still a mess.
Oh.
And nobody knows what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
it's even better now that Andrew's taken over the course.
Yeah, true. He's so lazy at putting the assignments up.
Actually, I shouldn't be saying that because I know he watches my channel.
No, but really?
He knows of the channel.
He did restructure the assignments, and that's great.
Mm-hmm.
And when he did put up like the schedule and stuff, it's way better than it used to be.
It had like breakdowns of all the percentages and stuff.
That's really good. Yeah, that's way better than what it used to be. He's a little slow to get things going, but when he does, it's way better than it was.
For sure.
Yeah, it's Doug wasn't running it badly. I think the course was just a mess. There was too many assessment pieces. Like, why do we need 3 presentations and which we didn't do anyway, and then 3 status reports for the presentations and all this other stuff as well? Just slim some of that stuff down, make the stuff that's already there bigger. There you go. Fixed your problem. So, Corey, how about yourself?
Yeah, it's gone fairly chill so far, at least. Working at ICT 3 days a week. In the city. Yeah.
I'm barely doing 5 hours a week.
That's 24 hours a week.
Oh, Mondays are half days because we do documentation on Mondays, and then we do 6
Yours is so
to
much
7
more work.
hours.
We're only meant to do 15 hours.
Oh well. I'm on top. We're on top of it, so it's all good.
You're doing so much more work than I'm doing. Mine is such a lazy project.
Big data.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I started the assignment, but that's due in another month. I just realized, so it's
20 days. Sorry, 18 days actually. So not a month.
Yeah.
No, definitely not a month. That's actually 2.5 weeks.
I swear it was due on the 20th of September.
Yes. 18 days. Yeah. So no, that's not it.
It's the 22nd today.
It is, yeah. I can't do maths. Ignore me. It is about a month, isn't it? For some reason in my head, I was like, oh, that's fucking 20 days away. Like, how many days are in a month? No, it is a month away. Okay, that makes me a bit less stressed.
VR is probably the main pressure point because I've never really worked with Unity before, so I'm learning all of that.
Same. Yep.
Plus trying to implement a haunted house per se. So I have to design things and get assets and not so much learn C# but learn Unity's way of programming in C#.
There's one of the requirements on the assessment. I'll send you a link for it afterwards. It's about the spider web. I'll send you a link to a video about making a cloth system, and you can adapt that to having the spider web work.
Ooh, sick.
Because that was one of the ones where I wasn't really sure how to do it, but I think approaching it through the cloth system is probably the easiest way to do it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, VR for me, I'm basically done with the assignment. I'm sort of just like doing polishy stuff, but I'm not polishing it too much. Sort of just polishing it for the assessment criteria. At this point, I don't care about making a good game for it. I'm just gonna get the criteria done well enough to get the marks, and that's about it.
Because like even the prac teacher said, because I was in the VR room on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Darren asked the prac teacher if it has to be something special. He's like, no, you can literally just have 4 blank rooms with grey walls, and you'll still get the same amount of marks.
Okay.
It's like I've seen people with like 2 or 3 stories with like heaps of stairs and something like outrageous. I'm like, is it worth that much effort?
The part I was happy about was where he said grey walls will give you the marks, because I haven't done textures. I've just done coloured materials.
Same, yeah.
I might put like a wood floor in, but apart from that,
yeah, I found an asset on the asset store, just like like a wood flooring, like you say. You just splash it on the flooring. It makes it look a bit better, but like it doesn't have to be anything outrageously like special or unique. As long as it fits like the bare minimum, you're not going to get extra marks.
Kenley, your face reminds me of
marks, then.
Elliot when he's just sitting there listening to people talk and just doesn't fucking care at all.
This is games. Clearly, I don't care.
Oh, what are you doing this semester then?
Oh, me? Oh, it's the visualization.
Ah, okay.
The one that is not meant to be a ICT project, because there's very little or no programming.
Your other classes, not just your ICT project.
Oh, just big data.
Oh, okay.
Because I did an internship second year, so I got a credit for it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, the game doesn't look too hard to make. I'm basically done. Just polishing.
Most of it is literally just like box colliders.
Yeah.
Really. It's like you walk near a window, a car drives by, you walk near a door, opens for you.
Oh, you have it drive by when you walk by the window? I'm just having...
Yeah.
Mine's just on a loop. It just constantly driving by.
Either one. Like you touch a button, a door opens, sort of thing. You touch a light switch, a light switches on. Like, most of it is just events.
Yeah. I wonder how many people are going to fail because they've left their assignments on the test computer.
Oh, God.
Like, there's so many assignments just on that computer.
Yeah.
Maybe misconduct?
Probably. Because what happens in the VR lab is everyone logs into the WCL account and they just leave their assignments there. I make sure to delete mine, but these people are not very smart.
That's like a disaster waiting to happen.
It is. I don't know how Bruce has gotten away with this for so long.
Yeah, there's Unity Colab, which is like Git but for Unity, or you use Git itself, and you just delete all your files off of the thing every time.
I just put a folder on the desktop and just delete it like that.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah,
it's so easy just to swipe. Essentially.
I think the only reason it hasn't become a problem is because none of the upper management has noticed it yet. Because you shouldn't be using just a single account. Like, this is a very bad idea.
Yes.
I'm actually surprised they haven't had a big academic misconduct event because of it.
It's like the same thing as like the AGP computers, because I worked on the mobile application development assignment on there because I didn't have a Mac myself, so I had to use Xcode on the Mac, and so did everyone else, really.
Yeah.
VM. So it's a very similar sort of thing.
Yeah. I had a VM set up on my computer, and that was how I did it, which wasn't great, but it's certainly better than having all of my code in front of other people.
Legit, yeah. But yeah. it's
That
a
was
learning
one of
curve.
your most viewed videos, Brody, back then. The video that you made on how to set up the VM.
I fucking hate that video got popular. It was such a bad video. It's not very popular now. It's nowhere near one of my biggest videos, but
yeah, at the time it was one of the most popular. I remember.
Because right now I think it's not a great video, but I think one of my better videos is at the top now. My top video right now is 26,000 views, and it's
wow.
Vim. The thumbnail basically just says Vim is actually a good code editor with a bunch of question marks on it, and then the title is Vim. I was wrong. It's actually a good code editor, which isn't a great title, but 26k views, which is good.
Bang.
And my second one is also a Vim video. This one's on Vim Wiki, which is like a note-taking system in Vim. And then on my terminal Alacrity, then BSPWM, which is my window manager, then more Vim videos, and then me shitting on OhMyZSH, which got retweeted by the OhMyZSH devs, which I love. They're like, oh, I guess OhMyZSH isn't for everyone. And it's just like, literally in the first couple of minutes, I was just saying that OhMyZSH is useless and no one should ever run it. And it just got retweeted by the devs.
Interesting.
Free press.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to say no to it.
Yeah.
I think the reason why that actually it was a different VM video I did. I did a VM video about setting up a Ubuntu VM, and that one did pretty well as well, but that one got retweeted by Canonical.
I have no idea who that is.
The devs of Ubuntu.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
So that one made sense, but the first one, the Mac one, it was actually really bad because I showed me making a mistake in it, and that was part of the video, and it made the video like half an hour long. Stop me when I make a bad video like that. Just tell me to not do that.
Yeah.
I honestly don't watch the Linux videos.
No, that's fair.
I did like your recent video, or actually, I think it was early last week, about how it's not worth going to uni when everything is online.
Mm-hmm.
That one was definitely agree with your thoughts there.
That one took so fucking long to record. I kept making mistakes.
I tried to going around in circles.
I tried to, yeah. People complain about it in the comments. I tried to do those outdoor videos in one take, and it just wasn't happening with that video. I don't know why.
Yeah.
There is a pretty good recording spot I did find, but last time I went there, they were trying to like remove a stump from the ground. I was like, okay, this is not great for recording. There's gonna be a lot of noise here.
Yeah.
So maybe I go there next time, and then I sit down on the tree or something. Because the pacing, I wanted some movement, but I didn't have far to move. And it didn't work, obviously.
Kept going around.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still better than just a static background.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, it's why I have the light now. I don't use this for regular videos, but for the podcast, it adds something to it.
Yeah, it's a bit more colorful.
So, yeah, we've been going for like nearly 2 hours and 45 minutes. It's 2 hours, 41 seconds right now. So, I'm happy to wrap it up because I know you guys have stuff to do later in the day.
Yeah. Oh, well, Corey's saying something.
Is he? Is his audio not working?
So my power just cut out of my house.
Well, I guess that's a good time to end the video.
Oh,
Lord. Okay, well, I'm surprised I didn't lose power because we're actually pretty close by. Must be more located to his street or something. I don't know.
Yeah, possibly.
Anyway, thank you for coming on the show. We'll see if he can get back on the show before we end it. Is there any channels out there that you've been watching lately that you want to give a shout out to? Think deserve a bit of attention.
Not off the top of my head. Not anything recent, but something like maybe In a Nutshell or Kurzgesagt. Those are good good channel.
Now he's gone.
Oh yeah, finally. I was wondering why it was.
How do you spell that?
Wait, have you never heard of them?
No.
Oh my god, they make. Wait, let me.
Hi. Sorry.
Oh, you're back.
Welcome
Yeah.
back.
Minor power outage.
There we are. That's the one.
Oh, Kurzgesagt, hell yeah.
So good.
Okay.
Also, another great channel is Let Me Know.
Here we go. This is a mess. What is this channel about?
It's about it's like really bite-sized sciencey topics. Or actually, it's not just science, but it's really well-researched videos that are.
These are really good thumbnails. What the fuck?
They're so good.
Yeah, they put a lot of effort into their videos, and they have like proper researchers, and yeah, they're really good videos, and I highly recommend them.
Yeah, I will definitely
And
check
they
this channel
list
out.
like their sources every like claim they make. There are sources on like the top left and all that, and it's just 5gconspiracy.com. They're actually good sources.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one, Let Me Know, they're nice documentary style videos. Pretty good.
What was the second one, sorry?
Let Me Know. I sent it on the Discord.
Let me know.
It's like LEMMINO.
Oh. Yeah, that. Ah, okay. This one rings a bell.
I watched the Universal S video.
Oh yeah.
I knew
That's
it
the
ringed
one.
a bell. Yes.
Was that the one that you saw?
Yeah,
Brody?
I have seen that video. I've been looking for this video for a while and I couldn't remember who made it. Yeah, I'm already subscribed to this channel.
Videos. Oh, cool. I can't believe you haven't heard of Kurzgesagt. They're on trending all the time.
I don't look at trending.
I mean, YouTube trending is just garbage.
Yeah, when I open up trending, it's just like, here's some random vlogger.
Fortnite.
Yeah, Fortnite, random vlogger, here's a music video. Tell me about WAP.
Yeah.
Corey, do you know what WAP is?
I've heard of it recently, but not really.
Go look up WAP after this podcast ends.
Okay.
What are you snacking on, Corey?
Fried rice.
Oh, nice.
Oh, good stuff.
Yeah, boy.
So, Corey,
Yes.
channel, give me one that you want to shout out.
Oh. Any particular genre?
It's something you're enjoying.
Hmm. I'm just scrolling through my subscription list. Hang on.
Oh, I saw this TV series, this show literally yesterday, and I binged it in one sitting. It's called Biohackers. It's on Netflix. It's a German show, but it's quite good. It's very bingeable as well. It's only got 6. It's 4 hours probably. 6 episodes, around 40 minutes each.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Okay, I'll check that one out.
It's quite good. There is English audio if if you're,
No, I'm good with
dubs over
subtitles.
subs.
Yeah.
You got anything, Corey?
Quite a good gaming channel if you're into that is Teo. He makes really, really funny
and that
videos
is
about
spelled
TEO.
T-O. Yep, you were saying?
He just makes really funny like montages with him and his friends. or sometimes it's just him with like a single player game.
Mm-hmm.
But like, his reactions to some shit are just so funny. And if you remember Ryan Drescher, he's a big fan of him as well. So that's a gaming channel. I don't know because I watch a lot of different shit on YouTube.
So good if you don't have anything else.
I hear there's this new and upcoming YouTuber. His name is Brody Robertson. I hear he makes good videos. You should go check him out.
We'll do that at the end of the show. If you got nothing else, I can move on to my one.
Yeah, go for it.
Cool. So there's a podcast I've been watching recently who's got some pretty big names in the in anime YouTube hosting it. So this is a podcast called Trash Taste. It's hosted by Giguk, the Anime Man, and Sea Dog VA. And recently they did an episode with with Shibuya Kaho, which is a ex female porn star in Japan, and that was a really good episode. And basically they just talk about shitty anime and just talk about just being anime creators and stuff like that. And it's a fun show. I enjoy it. Especially because I haven't watched The Anime Man or Giguk in a very long time. So, yeah, go watch it. Go watch if any of those names sound interesting to you.
What was that one called, Brody?
Trash Taste.
Trash Taste.
It recently showed up in my suggested, which is how I find most of my channels, to be honest. Like, that's how I found the Lockpicking Lawyer and some other fun ones like that. Oh,
that's a good channel.
A really good channel.
Yeah. You know, once you start watching like a dozen or so videos, you realize how just insecure locks are.
That's the reason why I'm now telling people don't buy smart locks.
Yeah, you definitely don't want that.
It's a bad idea in general, just because if your power's out and there's no battery in it, you can't unlock your door.
And
but they're also very insecure.
0 days.
Mm-hmm.
And they're probably all made in China, which means there's probably some backdoor to it.
Probably.
Very likely.
It's just a bad idea in general. So just don't buy smart locks. So I think that's probably everything, isn't it?
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Cool. So before, actually, do you guys have anything you want to shout out? Nothing?
No.
Just going through your life doing that wage slavery.
Always. Yep. Also, Brady.
Yo.
If you want to go watch a movie, go watch yourself some Tenet, because Kelly and I are going with a bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to do a podcast on Tenet, hit me up.
What is that?
Yeah. I think Tenet's gonna be one of those mind-blowing, just like weird films. It's probably like one of the... I don't think a new movie has been released in theaters since like maybe February.
Yeah.
So this is one of those first films.
It's a Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah, we're seeing it release
so you know
day.
It's gonna be trippy.
Oh, I can't wait, dude.
Oh, so excited. Few more hours.
Armed with only one word, Tenet, and fighting the survival of the entire world, a protagonist journeys through a twilight world of international espionage on a mission that will unfold in something beyond real time. Sounds like fun.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd be happy to go watch that.
Hell yeah.
Cool. So you guys got nothing to shout out?
No. I think I'm good, yeah.
Okay, so before we go, I would like to thank my supporters, Joachim, Corbinian, Craig, Nathan, Andrew, Montazar, Joseph, Peter D. Road, Tony, Donald, John, Marek, Mikkel, Spagine, Thais, and Zilva. If you want to go support my work, there'll be some links down below to my Subscribe Star, my Patreon, all of that stuff. I think it'll probably be in a coin tree now, just because it's a bit easier to deal with rather than having a fucking massive wall of links. Also, I'm going to go check out the main channel, that is Brody Robertson, available on Library, YouTube, BitChute, and other places as well. This podcast, if you're not watching it on as the video version, is available as a video version on Library and YouTube. The audio version is available anywhere you listen to audio podcasts. So I think that's pretty much everything for us. Do you guys have anything else to say before we end off the show?
No.
Just watch Mr. Robot.
Yeah.
Cool. So, yeah. I think that's everything then. I'm going to play the outro then.
What a bop.
It's actually a nice track. The last guy I had on was like, that sounds like porn music. Oh, Lord. It's a fun show. I enjoyed it.
It was good.
Thank you guys for sticking around for 3 hours, I guess.
Thanks for having
Thanks
us
for
on.
having me.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Alright.
You guys are always welcome back whenever we have something interesting to talk about, I guess.
Awesome.
Looking forward to it.
Cool. I will talk to you guys later then.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.